And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You can be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. Alright. So, I hope everybody's having a good day. We have some different things that we're going to be discussing, and we're going to go over to this window over here, and you can see me better. Alright, hello everybody. It's me, Alien Spaceship. I hope everybody's been having a good evening, good day. And the weather specifically has been quite bad today. For a moment earlier, my power went out for a moment, but then it went back on. I didn't really watch the trials today, but there was some verdict watch going on. There's a couple of things going on with that, and it was for the alley trial. There was another one with a basketball case with a basketball player. Next week apparently they're going to have some more trials, but we will see how those work out. I'm not too sure what they are exactly, but they're going to be trials that I'll be looking into. So yeah, that, and then there's this, I think there was another trial. There may have been three. I'm not really too sure, but I'm certain about those two that were going on today, because I do a lot of trial coverage and stuff like that. So it seems like the tsunami that occurred was when it was going to the coast of the west coast. It was just a couple of waves. It didn't seem like it was really that much. I'll see if there's any updates about that. Let's see right here. Now, it was bigger in California, because there was an earthquake yesterday in Russia, but it didn't really seem like, as far as I know, it really didn't do too much. I went to see. Yeah, it says, why didn't devastating tsunamis didn't follow the Russian earthquake? Yeah, because I was watching a stream last night about it, and the waves were coming to the shore, and it wasn't really doing anything. It was just kind of stronger waves, but not really too strong. Yeah, that. And the other day we talked about the New York City shootings that happened. That was a tragedy. Let's see if there's anything going on with this. Alright, Chile cancels tsunami alerts, several areas, but other. Alright, I am back. It must have been a lot of traffic on the site that I was on, and it caused a little bit of a crash, but that's okay. Here I am. I am back. Alright, so anyway, they canceled the warnings for all of these different tsunami warnings that happened from yesterday. So there's no more tsunami warnings for those regions that I was mentioning. So we got cut off for a moment. So Hawaii canceled tsunami warnings. Chile canceled tsunami warnings because it wasn't really that severe, but it's good to have warnings just in case something occurs. But there seems to be a lot of hype. Hello, Nan. It's great to see you. Welcome to the stream. She says, "Hey there, just sat down and saw your notification." Oh, okay, that's nice. Thank you. So, yesterday there was this tsunami alert because there was an earthquake off the coast of an area in Russia, which would cause alleged earthquakes to the Pacific in general. And seeing the different streams and stuff, the waves aren't really that heavy in those different regions, especially in California and stuff like that. And they were canceling their warnings for the different areas that they were going to have tsunamis at. So it's a good thing. It's great to see you, Doe. Welcome. Yeah, and the tsunamis that were occurring they want to warn people about them because it could be very bad. I mean, there's the one in 2004 that deleted a lot of people. Hurricane Katrina wasn't a tsunami, but it was something that actually was underprepared for, I think. But that was a bad flooding incident, so tragedies can happen, but yeah, nothing really big occurred from those. So I remember we were talking about that last night, and Japan had some flooding. That's much closer than we are, but to Russia than we are. But still, I think that it's good that nothing very tragic occurred to the West Coast, and Hawaii is technically closer to Russia than it is to the West Coast of the United States. Because people might think that it's close to the homeland, but it's not. It's closer to Asia. In Hawaii, the native people that are there, they came from. They had a sail on these little boats that they created out of straw and stuff, and they sailed to those little islands. So yeah, it's much closer to the Asian mainland than it's to the United States. But it's interesting having a state out there in the middle. It's an island, of course, in the middle of the Pacific. Yeah. So it is good that that didn't transpire into a catastrophic event. Now, yesterday, as we were talking about the shooting with in New York City, that one very tragic. As I said, people shouldn't go into their emotions and do things like that, as I said before, and not really much information I know of has come out about that. I want to see if anything new came out about it, because we were doing that yesterday. Yeah. Here. Yeah, it just didn't really seem like anything new under the sun exactly happened with that either. Okay. All right. Now, and that is basically the kind of updates about what we were talking about yesterday and the day before. So, what is going on today in my region, which is a mass weather event across the country, is that oh, I see what you're saying, Nan. Nan says, I was very nervous about the New York City one as my daughter works in the city. Thankfully, she was fine. Is fine. Oh, I'm glad to hear that your daughter's fine. Because, a couple of people lost their lives. There's a police officer that lost his life. There is a woman that was working in one of the office buildings, lost her life. It was, yeah, so I'm glad that your daughter's okay, because this guy just walks in with a giant rifle casually, and he has his sunglasses on and his jacket and everything, and he can just casually just walk in there. I mean, it's really absurd, especially since it's illegal to have the firearms, like I'd say, like that out like that in the city over there. And the security, certainly not anything against the security guards there. It's not nothing to do with them. I think these places need to have better security with bigger, firearms to themselves to guard a place, because especially when attacks like this happen, because innocent people were lost and it could have escalated even further. So, but the person deleted themselves, and it seems that the person was named Shane was angry at the NFL for not for having these brain injuries. He had some brain injuries from football, and he was apparently blaming the NFL for injuries he had in high school football. And he certainly was not in his right state of mind. He certainly was insane. And he goes and carries out a catastrophe like this. Yeah, it's very scary, especially hearing that your relatives are in a situation close to this. It is completely evil. Now, there was speeches about it. There were different, vigils held for the people that had their lives lost, and that was a good thing to do. But it really shows the decline of our civilization, how the mental health of people and their way of expressing themselves is not right. Like I was talking about before with like the Alley trial, how the parents strangled these strangled the people, strangled their daughter. There's better ways to express yourself about that, and that is why I think that it just shows the decline of civilization. Right, man, exactly. I'll look it up to make sure, but I believe it's illegal there. Doe says two channels that I moderate for, they both are in New York. I consider them friends. I also have an ex that used to live in New York. His mom worked in Manhattan, so it was just as terrifying. Yeah, I have subs that are in New York City and in New York State in general too. So I can relate to that. I could share into the terror of being concerned about people over there, especially if they're people that you know. Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see the New York City gun laws. All right, here we go. New York City has some of the strictest gun laws in the United States. To legally possess a firearm in New York City, individuals need a license to permit used by the NYPD license division. Here's a breakdown of the aspects. Handgun license. A valid handgun license is required to own a handgun. Applicants must be at least 21 years old and consider a good moral character to obtain a license. Background investigation, including fingerprinting, interviews, are conducted by local licensing officials to assess applicants' charter and temperament and judgment. There are different types of handgun licenses depending on the intent use of the premise of carry, special carry. Dan says, OG Boudreaux, so scary for you too. I know what it's like to be friends with folks online. One of my, well, One time my ex was carrying a practical rifle that's for costume only. It was when he was in high school in NY, and he said that he got stopped by police and that he was a a practice rifle. Yeah, he told the police it was a practice rifle. Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's very strict over there. Yeah. A rifle and shooting permits. A city issue permit is required to own a rifle or a shotgun. The application process involves requesting an appointment with the NYPD license division, obtaining approval, and visiting designated locations. New York's concealed carry laws were strengthened in 22 to increase public safety and promote responsible gun ownership. The Bruin Supreme Court decision in 22 eliminated the proper cause requirement for concealed carry permits. However, obtaining a concealed carry permit in NY still requires meeting strict requirements and can be a complex process. Doe says, probably more scary for you, it was your daughter, Nan. Yeah, because absolutely. I mean, and I think that it brings all of this is different circumstances. Like New York had a history with having attacks. So yeah, it kind of would also have a history with it, similar to how New Orleans has a history with hurricanes and stuff like that. So I do think having a child, especially in the same area where something like this may be occurring, it certainly would be terrifying. People want to know what's happening, and that's why I say life's very short and things can happen in a blink of an eye. So that's why it's always good to make each moment count. Doe says, I think he graduated in '89, so a while ago. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was quite a while. And Nan says, I'm very close with both of my daughters, and this one wasn't all that far away considering. So, yes, I was super scared. Yeah, heart stopping, adrenaline rushing, and the impending immediate doom that would be happening inside someone's mind. Absolutely. So, the regulations also address the sole state possessions of high capacity magazines. New York State prohibits. Oh, hello, Sharon. It's great to see you. Welcome. Oh, hello, Moki. Welcome to the stream. New York State prohibits the sale and possession of certain assault style weapons originally designed for military use. Regulations also address the sale possession of high capacity magazines. Background checks. Background checks are required for handgun purchases at the point of sale and or for permit to purchase. Officials have the authority to deny sales if a buyer possesses a danger to public safety. Laws are regulated in buying, selling, or owning, using, carrying firearms in public. There are provisions for emergency for restraining orders for that bar of domestic abusers possessing the guns while subject to short-term orders. Yeah, so in layman's terms, it is highly illegal to have a firearm out like that and you need a permit for it. And the person obviously didn't have the proper permit. So I think what they need to do is. Oh, hello, one juror. Oh, OJM. Welcome. Here's your wrench. Hello, OJM. It's been a while, buddy. I'm so glad to see you. So, OJM, I have been doing good. I have been doing a lot of streaming with, with the different trials I've been talking about of many different topics, including things with the news or things with aliens, things with pretty much everything. And I've been keeping up with the recent trials that have been going on different channels, but not as frequently as usually do with the chats, because the main channel hasn't been on. But I've been doing some other things, but I've been kind of glancing at the different trials that have been on recently. But I saw some cats today, and power went out briefly for a little while earlier, and now it is back on. It's been raining a little bit, and OJM, I wonder how you're doing. I hope everything's going good with you. It's always nice to see you when either here or over at LNC. So shout out to you, buddy. Yeah, I've been knowing OJM for a while. Very insightful with the different trials that we watch. Okay, and yeah, so the person has said they deleted themselves. Shane deleted himself. He seems like he was half Japanese and black. He was blaming NFL for his injuries from high school, and he took his anger out in this way. Now, people do believe there's other conspiracy theories behind this. It seems like suspicious. I think which is fine to talk about. I think it's interesting to hear different perspectives. Yes, it was a big trial day, Moki. Yes, I saw parts of it. I'm glad that you're doing great, OJM. And you know, with the Ali trial, there was doing the verdict watch, and there was the basketball person trial. Oh, hello, Anna. Hello, Anna. It's great to see you. And she says Tasman and Joyce on the CTV chat, but it's paid chat, and I couldn't talk to them. Okay, well, shout out to Joyce and Tasman. I hope they're doing fine over there at the CTV. Scared. With the Ali trial, there's been a lot of talk about controversy because of the religion stuff, with the ethical morals about it, and there's been lots of wars about that specific trial. It's been quite intriguing to see. And I hope everybody's having a good evening. And hello, Kara. Good to see you. Kara says, I didn't watch any trials today. Have I been missing out? Trying to take a break, but I missed it. Oh well. Yeah, I've glanced at little bits and pieces of it today in the past few days, but Moki can answer that for you. And yeah, I think that it's good to watch trials, but it's okay to do other things too. Yeah, there's a couple of verdicts today. There's a verdict over at the LC channel. I don't know what has come of the Ali trial, if they're still deliberating or not. But yeah, I was watching little bits and pieces of things today, but mostly doing some other things. Oh, okay, Moki. Thank you for the information. So LC in the LC diaspora, we have I like to see the intellectual study about the LC trial group because it reflects human migration and migration. Oh, it's still deliberating, Moki. I thought it was still deliberating, as I was seeing bits and pieces. I was gonna tell y'all hello, but it was towards the end of it, and it was already over before I was gonna tell y'all something. As of course I had the whole day, but I was doing some other things. But yeah, I was watching parts and bits and pieces of it though. Oh, you're welcome. Now, like we had the LC people in one place, and then as certain things happened in that stream, we dispersed and went into different places and sections of the world of YouTube. So some out of the diaspora of the LNC group, Some went to CTV, some went to the other ones in Trial TV and Take It to Trial. That's a new one I found that Moki told me about in a couple of different places. Some people just don't go on any trials anymore. And I think it's cool all the different people came here too. Because it's like when they come here, it's like all of them reunited. It's like a reunion. So I think that is very fascinating to me. So it shows different migrations. Like say you had people in different parts of the world that migrated to different places, different parts of the planet. It's the same type of thing, but it's done through the cyber realm. So I think that will be an interesting study that future generations and future people and people now could see. It's like they go and disperse. And Anna, I'll get to Anna in a moment, but shout out to Anna, great people. And Moki says, I would be there, but I'm not paying. I understand. I understand. And Anna says, hey, Moki, buddy, small chap, but they all seemed happy, mostly female, real small, about 8. CC was there, and they were having fun. Well, that's good for them. Sharon said, seems LC isn't streaming very much. Someone said they are banned for a bit. Probably rumor, though. Oh, okay. I thought that they could have been banned for a little bit. I wondered about that. You understand, Anna, not paying, yeah. And, okay, Moki, understood. And I will say that I'm glad I got, although they come here sometimes to this channel, sometimes we see them here. I'm glad that I knew them and talked to them on LC when I did. Like, for instance, like, Dwayne, say like a story about, so Dwayne, it's like, so I knew him for many years, for as long as I've been there, since 22. And I would talk to him all the time in chat, like I talk to all of you. And then there was a point where when they took away the mods, although people think that the mods were restrictive, I think they never did anything to me. But you don't have to get rid of the mods completely. You could just kind of lighten it up a little bit and give them some regulations about what they can do and what cannot do, but keep them there. And he didn't like things that were going on there, so he was not going to be there. He told me about it, and it was like a sad thing, but I still got to talk to him here on my channel and see him in different places. So that was something, even better happened afterwards. So yeah, there's people I've known throughout time that didn't go there anymore after certain things happened, and it happens, Moki and Sharon. It happens quite often, but y'all are a descendant of that group because y'all were part of that group of people with us before they left, and I was part of that group. So through me, also, y'all are the same group but with different people in it. Yeah, and also Pam too. A couple of different people I was talking about before. Yeah, so I just don't know why they haven't been streaming trials. Maybe they got banned, or maybe there just hasn't been trials going on, or maybe there's other issues in the company, or they haven't been able to get a contract to get into certain trials. Maybe not a lot's going on because they don't like go to like someone's like if CBS is streaming a stream about a trial, they don't stream someone else's stream. They have their own agents inside the place filming it. So I don't know if it had to do something else. Absolutely, Sharon. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Moki says, Libby was telly sweet to make me a mod. I was like, no. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking to myself yesterday that you should be a mod, but I didn't think you really want to be a mod over there. Or maybe scared. Yeah, you're like, no. Yeah. But Anna says LC will have stuff coming up. I think Miss McDonald said stuff's coming. Yeah, next week allegedly they're gonna have some trials coming up. You know what's so weird? I had a teacher named Miss McDonald. That's so weird. But yeah, and also I was the part of school that I was in was called LC, So it's so weird that this is also called LC. Scared. Telling, not telly. Yeah. Billy Dude was found guilty and sentenced to 50 years, which seems like a lot to me. Yeah, Moki, I saw he was found guilty, and it does seem like a lot, but I don't really know what to think because I wasn't as involved with that trial. But that's kind of like an obvious thing. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes Moki though, they will give sentences to people that are kind of far fetched. I think sometimes it's justified. Yeah. I am not the chat police. I would if paid, but not for free. Oh, understood, Moki. Sharon said, Ahmad, no, never here either. Right. And Anna said, LC is the best. They don't censor chat like others. Hasn't been anything big since KR. Yeah, or YSL. Like YSL a year ago would have been going on. Like that's what would have been happening. And also we have okay, we have oh yeah, exactly, Sharon. What I so what I me I'm kind of eccentric, but in a sense where I make everybody a mod, and say y'all don't have to do nothing. It's all on me. If trolls and stuff came in, usually the trolls are in the phone lives usually more than these type of live streams. But yeah, I wanted to give you all the badge of honor for being here and hanging out with me. It's something I did for my friends that I knew. And if we were raided by 1,000,000 people at one point in the future, I trust y'all to. If somebody says like something stupid, I'll deal with it. But if it was too out of hand, if y'all wanted to do something, y'all could. But y'all don't have to do anything. And yeah, because I'm just, as y'all know, I'm scared. Scared. Yeah, Moki. She says, I think it's funny we're all mods because we can't block each other. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point about me. That's the whole point about me. It's like y'all that people wonder why there's so many mods. That's the whole point because no one could block anybody. That's another point about it. And I also wanted to give it to everybody that I knew on YouTube that came here. I in the very very beginning I gave it to most people, but some people I didn't because I was just kind of like if they didn't say anything, I was gonna give it to everybody that I knew on YouTube. I just didn't do it right away. It was just gonna happen over time because there's so many people. Oh, thanks, Anna. Thanks, you got my back. Oh, Gloria. Oh, I feel much safer now since Gloria is here. Scared. I feel much more safe. Doe says, I like being a mod at first, but sometimes it's stressful. Oh, yeah, it can be very stressful. And as I said, I like to play whack-a-mole. I'll handle the chat. And some chats have no mods because nobody can block anybody. Me, I make everybody a mod. And another thing that y'all have the privilege of doing is sharing links. Y'all can share links. People that don't have a wrench can't share a link. And it makes everybody feel included, in my opinion, part of a show, and it's a little gift for the people I know on YouTube. A lot of other YouTubers, which I said, there's people way bigger than me, all right? I'm just a little speck. I'm a little tiny little crumb. I don't have I don't have 1,000,000 subscribers, but I have a couple of people, and I appreciate all of the people that humored me and kept me safe when I'm scared, that subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody that subscribed. And those that aren't here either, I appreciate people that aren't here either. So, I liked the idea of having the different people as mods because it was good to have people included, and it's people that I knew on YouTube. So a lot of people that do a live stream, they will have random people come to their chat and they make friends. I do that because of my phone lives. The algorithm seems to boost the phone lives more, and we get more trolls and stuff. But I'll do phone lives in the future, but I've been doing computer ones for recently. Now, I've found people through phone lives. Now, there's also people that find my live streams through these and subscribe to the channel through this way. They just are lurkers. So, a shout to the lurkers. And yeah, probe that like button. People don't have to. I appreciate people viewing the stuff anyway, but probe that like button. Definitely. And so what my thing, which caused confusion, was that everybody that I knew on YouTube from different streams came to my channel. So I knew everybody that was a mod. A lot of people don't know who their subscribers are exactly. They're not really like friends with them. I was friends with all of you. So it's a different situation, and it's also a new experiment. So I like that, and I like all the blue wrenches. Ah, my buddy Frog is here. Welcome. All right. And seeing Moki says, "Oh yes, I like that too. The links makes it easier for me to send you weird UFO stuff." Oh yeah, Moki, I always love the stuff you send me, and I learn a lot. Thank you. And it's so good to meet you, Moki. And we were meant to meet, later on, but from when I was in school. But yeah, I'm glad that I know you because you provide a lot of UFO information that I value. I'm glad that you or thought the UFO stuff was interesting too, because a lot of people that I knew that were adults weren't really that interested in it, but some were, and some weren't. But it's nice that you're interested in it. And okay, well, you have your own uniqueness. Yes, Sharon, I have my own uniqueness. That is my idiosyncratic nature of mine. Yes. Howdy, Frog. Great to see you. Yeah, Frog, you could wash your feet over in the washing room just to your right. And then you could come in and hop right in. Scared. Yeah, and I was able to get different people of different uh, religions and political views in one place too. That was also interesting to do. I like to have that. Have all kinds of different opinions, and sometimes things can get feisty. But I like feisty. I like being around people that are feisty. It's just people don't always like feisty people, but I do. It's just something that I'm idiosyncratic, and which is my uniqueness. I like to have a bunch of feisty angels on the spaceship, aliens, angels, feisty, and I like seeing debates. I always like debates. I'm just like that type of person that likes to engage in argues and stuff like that, and I was always into that, so I like having it here. Yeah, Frog needs a mushroom, and I'm going to head over get him the space mushroom. It's a neon color. He could hop right on and sit on it. You should hear me in the pool on Saturday. My family rolls their eyes at my UFO talk. Oh, really, Moki? Oh, wow. Yeah, so UFOs certainly are real, like the plasmoids, like we were just recently discovering in UFOs. I mean, people really are seeing something, like especially what I was reading through with the reptilian alien interview that we were talking about. Well, I was that Moki. Okay, what I mean is that Moki was showing me a link, and I looked at it. So there was these lizard alien, and was talking about some things are from the U.S. government, some things are aliens, some things are natural phenomena, but the natural phenomena I think are also angels doing it too. Yeah, just not everybody believes in aliens. I could see why people think it's far fetched, but oh, much love to you, Abby. Thank you for wishing us to have a good stream. Doe says, wish I had been doing videos when the drone thing happened. I would have more subscribers present day. Yeah, that is true. And, I also, Doe, have thought of things many times where if I could have done this or that, I would have had more. But that is a lesson that you learned that you can apply later, which I believe that there's all kinds of great things in the future for everybody. And with you watch the dots connect, and you know that now, then as you go on, when something else happens, you can go and research it. You know what else you could do, Doe? You could make a video about your experience watching the drones. and like what your experience with it was. You can make a video about that, and I think people will be very interested to hear about it. Okay, good night to you, Abby, and we're praying for you, friend. If you ever want to talk to chat or us or anybody, you can. But you going to bed is fine. Thank you for letting us know what's going on. Scared. Yeah. So, and I've had experience with YouTube since 2010, 2009. I was a little kid making videos, and then as I got older, I got in high school. I took a break from it. Then I went back into it when I finished school, and here we are. I didn't think it'd be like this, but it went better than I thought it would. Here we are. Scared. Yeah. Now, so Ali is still on verdict watch. It'll be interesting to see how that goes because it seems to draw a lot of emotion. We will have verdicts in at some point for that. Not a lot of trial activity is going on. The tsunami was just a poodle tsunami, just a couple of waves, nothing major, right? And Abby says my case is possibly going to trial, grand jury hearing Friday. Interrogations tomorrow. Good night, guys. Oh yeah, Abby, that is very stressful. You have a right to feel upset about that, definitely, and it's very intense. You got this. It's all going to be okay. And praying for you that it all goes well. All right, and I think that the alien interviews and people that might be aliens in disguise is something very intriguing to me. Because you never really know, and I like that I learned more about that from Oki. And there's in different cultures and different philosophies, there's all these different people that witnessed paranormal events and supernatural entities like genies and stuff, and eventually over time, I think that has to do with other realms. Like people can accept that there are other realms. And Doe says I have pics of so-called satellites falling from the sky in December. Oh, that's very good to know. And yes, Doe, you could do reaction videos. Absolutely, I've done reaction videos before, and I'm working on some now. And those are very popular. And my reaction videos have done very well. I recommend it. I'm working on some right now, by the way. Not right now at this moment, but I'm working on some. So yeah, I recommend it. And it's just so cool with YouTube. Like, and you can talk about your own experience and your own insight on them. See, I think the trials are important for people to see and how the legal system works. A lot of places, they don't have like stuff like that. They just go to just the plan B or plan C. They don't like go to a trial like we have. Yeah, so nothing really major in the trial realm. And with, for instance, I was seeing Amber Heard's trial back in the past. That's how I found that's how I got in the trial stuff. And she certainly was very, very fake. Now, Moki, I learned a lot of insight from the lizard alien interview documents. I learned quite a bit from that. I thought that was very information. I was learning some new things. So I think it's always good to learn what I can about these UFO things. Now, something I was researching the other day was that I didn't really think about is that at nighttime is when everything comes out. That's when a lot of bugs and lizards and different things come out at night. You have bad people that come out at night. Allegedly ghosts and also UFOs are seen UFOs are seen day and night, okay? Bad people come out day and night, but a lot of frequency things happen at nighttime. So allegedly the dark spirits and things can draw energy from night. So nighttime is something where people are usually afraid of things. It's dark where people can't be seen. That's the big thing about nighttime is that people can't be seen. Now I'm the idiosyncratic alien that likes to be outside at night. You know, I'm not a vampire, but I'm like a vampire where I like being around at night, and then uh, but I don't do anything bad. I just like exploring stuff at night. It's kind of more easier on the eyes. I like daytime too, but nighttime is one of my favorites. But of course, it's better to be careful at night because you know you have a lot of Timu Sheen trolls lurking. Yeah. Now, let's see. Speaking of the trials, let's go here, over there. I'm going to do some reaction to the. Okay, Sharon says they only come out at night was a little of Edgar Winter album. Oh, interesting, interesting. Oh, okay, understood, Sharon. Thank you for the information. And yeah, they have like ghosts and supernatural creatures at night. Oh, okay, okay. The only come out at night was a title from Edgar Winter. Okay. Now, something that we're going to do is so we're going to do some reaction to the Johnny Depp trial, and anybody wants some sort of suggestion on something, just let me know. And something I've been wanting to do, or do some reaction to this, and then I might get into some other UFO things. All right, so taking this off. Because with news and stuff, like with Epstein, all these different things, nothing new's really come out about that stuff. And many of you liked my possum short that I did yesterday. That possum short was very fun to uh, to do and see. And another thing that happened was I liked the other thing that happened with seeing the weaver spider, the orb weaver. They get very, 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 very big, but it's not venomous. It's venomous, but it's not poisonous. It's not poisonous though. So if a spider is venomous, it won't necessarily delete somebody, but it will be like very lethal. It won't be okay. I want to rephrase that. I don't want to cause confusion. Okay, if a spider bites somebody that is like this specific spider is venomous, so it'll sting like a wasp sting, but it's not in the sense that it's going to delete somebody. If it's something it's poisonous, it's going to probably delete somebody. All right, this is some testifying of Amber Heard. I'm going to see where she's at in this. Now, as I said, the trial, not the trial, but the Orb Weaver is not going to delete somebody, is my point. Oh, 1998. That was when I was born. All right, so I was just a little baby when he graduated. All right, we've reacted before to. I remember the one of the Crumbly's trial, right? So I'm going to do some reactions to this right here. Here we go.
About our lives in the way that they have. This has been the most painful and difficult thing I've ever gone through, for sure.
You know, and you could clear one thing that we did commentary about this trial when it was going on, and I mostly watched at the Independent, is that it wasn't really. She was very inauthentic. She's an actress, obviously, but she was not doing a good job at acting or convincing the audience that she was being, what she was accusing him of. Like, people didn't believe her in the chat, nor did the jury really either.
Now, there was a trial in the UK in July of 2020 where Mr. Depp had sued the Sun newspaper and Dan Wooten. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And what was your level of participation in that lawsuit, in that trial?
Well, I was not party to that lawsuit. I was a witness. I suppose the primary witness, since it dealt with the truth of the relationship that I shared with Johnny.
And what, if any, role did you have to play with respect to, for example, witness statements and testifying?
Objection compound.
I said, for example.
Overruled. I had to write, I think I gave 7 witness statements under oath testimony. I sat on the stand for 4 days under mostly cross-examination. And up until this point, it was the hardest thing I had ever had to do.
Thank you, Amber.
It was the hardest thing she had to do. I smell Timu and Sheen right there. Yeah, and yeah, she doesn't know what hard is. It's like completely making up stuff. And Sharon says, weird, you think that an actress would ace this? Exactly. And Doe is also thinking it's hilarious too. Yeah, it's just complete clown clown show right there. Yeah. All right, continue with Amber Heard's madness as I react. I'm also reacting to it. This is like a reaction thing that I do. That's one of the reasons why I say commentary about it, because I experienced this of trial. All right, continuing.
I'm going to take you back, and if you can just tell the jury a little bit about your background. Tell us where you grew up.
I come from Austin, Texas, a small town outside of Austin that you probably haven't heard of. No one has. It's called Maynard. And I was raised by my mother and my father. And I grew up with a little sister, although I have a big sister as well.
And your little sister's name is?
Her name is Whit Heard.
And how much of an age difference is there between the two of you?
Whitney and I are about 1 year, I think we're 16 months apart. So right next to each other.
And what did your father do for a living?
My father broke horses and did construction. He painted houses, and hunted and fished. But that was for fun.
And
yeah, and another thing that she could be doing also, she's really, Anna. That was in my 10th grade biology class. Wow, that is really cool, Anna. Awesome. I'm glad that I know this now. And, she's trying, this is something that's true, that's her humble beginnings. Now, I do think that it's a way of conveying sympathy. Now, also will say it has been argued that she is trying to do a thing where I knew a guy in the Johnny Depp trial that was claiming that he was in 21 Jump Street and some different little movies and TV shows, and he said he knew Johnny on the set of that show, 21 Jump Street. And he said he remembers when Depp was homeless when he was a taxi driver. And he was telling me that a lot of actresses would go with very famous actors with money to get their status and money out of them. And what he then he did a 180 and he was against Johnny. But in my opinion, I think that Johnny did the right thing. But he was just real emotional about Amber, and he thought the guy, his screen name is Hawaii. So Hawaii was telling me that, and him and I got into these intellectual debates about this, and the chat was going a million miles of nothing. This guy was not from Law and Crime; he was from Independence Channel, and he would ask me like what y'all do. He's like, "How's it going with Johnny?" He's like, "He looks like he's not doing too good for him." I said, "It's going to be fine for him in the long run." And yeah, it just he and I liked him. I respected him. He was cool people. Hawaii, but him and I disagreed. Now, at first, I got him to see that Heard was wrong, and he agreed with me. But he feels that she was young, had her whole life ahead of her, and he was wrong for suing her. And he's just like Johnny's this old gangster, this old man that's trying to be mean, and it's like I understand, but he's not trying to be mean. He got his Pirates of the Caribbean ruined. It would be the equivalent if some scandal, God forbid, happened, and alien spaceship's name was like taken off the thing, and I was like slandered or something, and I would be very triggered if some person slandered the reputation of alien spaceship. Like Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow is like as Hansel as alien spaceship. It's the equivalent of that. So I can understand the frustration he'd have with somebody if he was slandered and taken off as alien spaceship, or Johnny Depp was taken off as Jack Sparrow in this incident. And also, Anna says, Myanmar High School, 1981. He left school then in a band and saw him play. The next time I saw him, he was in Elm Street. And that is so cool that you knew him in your class. That is so cool. And was quiet like in Benny and Lone, always watching, but beautiful kid, as an angelic. Oh, yes, absolutely, yes. He looked angelic, yes. He was very handsome. He's very handsome indeed. And I remember in Elm Street, he was this, young guy, and he did very good in that movie. Definitely. I saw that one in 2016. Yeah, it's very cool, Anna. That's what I love about the internet, Sharon. You meet all these people that knew these different people. Like, Sharon, you and I know Anna, but no one else that we would know outside of YouTube would know her, that would know somebody that knew this person. And I knew somebody that worked with him on the set of the 21 Jump Street. I met, during this time period. So, yeah, it's very cool. The people you'll meet online is so cool. Yeah. And continuing with Amber Heard's nonsense.
What did your mom do?
She worked for the state of Texas.
Let me just, since you talked about the breaking horses, can you just tell the jury what your role is in assisting your dad on that, and what is involved in breaking horses?
Objection leading.
Can you just tell me about?
Overruled. Good. You just got to stay on, basically. I would help him. I was more of a crash test dummy. When you train a horse, it's a wild animal. It doesn't necessarily like to be ridden. And there are people out there who are crazy enough, like my dad, to pick that as a profession, I guess. And he was really good with horses, and I was the son he never had, so it was my job to, stay on.
And what, if anything, did you learn from your father about how to react to the horses?
Well, with training horses, I guess the key things are to not show fear, not get intimidated, not show fear, be tough and calm.
another thing about horses is when you're on a horse, you have to be like completely perpendicular, and you have to be very straight, and you can't really slouch and stuff like that because a horse will get nervous. And because the horse gets nervous and stuff, so yeah, that's how you're supposed to be on a horse. It's a lot of hard work involved in it. And it says, did have two crowns, carried his boom box, played heart cassette every day, ugh, and frog and grasshopper guts landed in my hair weekly, dissecting in biology. Guts and hair came from his direction. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, did have two crownies, carried his boombox, played heart cassette every day, ugh, and frog and grasshopper guts landed in my hair weekly, dissecting in biology. Guts and hair came from his direction. Wow, that's hilarious. You know, I had a story of biology. So I love biology personally. So when I was with Joe and another guy named Chris, Joe is the one that my alien sidekick in school. With his ideas, helped bring this channel and YouTube to never be the same again in a positive way with alien enlightenment. And we dissected the frog, and we didn't really get that messy. We were like, dude, we were like surgeons. One of my other friends was trying to cut the head open through the forehead. Now I realized later it's best to just slice it through the top down to pry it open instead of cutting directly into the skull. But I remember that, and it smells like formaldehyde. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. This one girl in class, she was disgusted. She wanted to disappear. Her face was just not happy. You know, so yeah, that's a hilarious story, Anna. All right. Eyes are blurry, okay. Two creepy friends he was in charge of is what I mean. Oh. Two creepy friends carried his boombox, played hard cassette every day, and the frog and the grasshopper guts landed in my hair, and weekly dissecting biology guts and hair came from his direction. Horses didn't listen to her. Moki says, I originally from Kentucky, and I'm scared to ride a horse. The shame. And you see, when I was a little kid, I rode a horse. I rode a pony. A cute little alien rode a cute little pony. And I wore a cowboy hat. Paul Shore asked me to go back to his hotel room, and I said not quite as glamorous as JD. And Oki said, sometimes I forget I'm afraid of them and give it a shot. Then the horse just turns around and goes back to the barn with me on it. When I got back, I think we were all a case study he used in acting. Oh, very interesting, Anna. Okay. Thanks for. I really love these stories, Anna. It's like when uh, Brock from Titanic found the lady that was in the drawing, the heart of the ocean. I'm like, I really. So it's like, I feel like that guy listening to your stories about this. And Noki, LMAO, mine runs full force. I get popped off the horse. Is back home. Scared. Sharon. Scared. All right.
Tell the jury a little bit about your educational background during those growing up years and your work experience.
I worked any job that I could from the time I was really young. I wanted to get out of Texas and do something with my life and see things and do things. So I was in school and really pushed myself to, I just always pushed myself to be able to accelerate the process. I wanted to, get out of school as fast as I could, and I wanted to do more things with my life than stay in Texas.
So what types of things, so where did you go to school?
Hello, Lauren. It's great to see you. Welcome to the stream. I'm reacting to Amber Heard right now. And nothing really new is going on with news or trials. It was a big trial day for those that are watching trials, but not really much news going on, though, besides that. And so we're reacting to Johnny Depp. And Mokes said, would y'all become a drug addict to be rich and famous? Well, Moki, you would need to be a drug addict to afford that addiction. So it might go hand in hand. But being a drug addict would kind of contradict being famous, because you probably lose everything at the same time, or become like Tony Montana and end in blazing glory, but you want to try to enjoy it for the long term. So it's a good question, but I think that one would cancel out the other. Right. Yeah, I agree, chat. I wouldn't do it either.
You were younger.
I was a scholarship kid at a Catholic school growing up, several different Catholic schools, but they were always in the other, on the other side of town, in the wealthier part of town. And I grew up quite working class, and thankfully with, as long as I maintained an A average, I enjoyed the benefit of a scholarship, and I did that until I realized that I could take my GED and SATs early, and I did that and placed out of school and effectively left school at 16 years old, I believe.
And what did you do for work during those younger years?
I took any job that I could. I worked at my father's construction company, sometimes, just administrative stuff. I mean, it was a small company.
Yeah, Moki. Exactly. There's something about her gives off something like aggravating. Yeah. Yeah, and it takes it's interesting. She went to the Catholic school. I went to the Catholic school in kindergarten, but people were thinking that I needed some extra help for a special alien. So, what I said I did better in was a smaller group of people. I did better in a smaller group. So they put me in a school where I did in a smaller group of people, which led me to Alien Joe, which led me to here. Shout out to both schools, were good. I like both schools. Shout out to both of them. And I think that it was, so she had an interesting upbringing, but, I wonder if that affected her later. Oh, hello, Sam. Great to see you. I was talking to them about the horrible tsunami that y'all experienced. Last night we were watching it, and those horrible waves coming in, it was it made me shake. And so, what we're doing now, Sam, at the moment, is I'm reacting to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial at the moment. We were doing things, the news, nothing really new going on. I talked about it earlier, where it was just, the New York shooter was, a bad person, and some stuff about that, nothing really new, and Epstein, nothing really new going on. But with Epstein, I'll tell you that Trump's been talking about his relationship with Epstein. He had a falling out with him at Mar-a-Lago, and also that Virginia Giuffre was one of his people, and he took her from him. And he was talking about his beef with Epstein he had back in the past, and why he had a falling out with him. And also Maxwell wants to be given complete clearance to then testify to Congress about what she knows. That's just what's going on with Epstein. And economy, there's a 2%. I have a widget right here, so I can tell you what's going on with that. There is takeaways from the federal decision, which they did some rate cuts, and it caused the stock market to kind of tumble a little bit and gold and silver to tumble a little bit. And they're trying to like get the economy back, but a lot of people are upset with the economy right now. So that's just kind of a news update. Trials: some basketball dude was found guilty for 50 years. Chat thinks it's kind of ridiculous. Some people in chat think it's kind of ridiculous. There is the Ali trial. Had nothing, no verdict yet, but they're in verdict watch. But they'll come back tomorrow. So that is just a brief kind of like what I sort of talked about earlier. West Coast has higher tides than the tsunami tide. Hilarious. All right. So, continuing with this reaction. All right.
But I answered phones, and I worked at a modeling agency that was also, offered photography classes, makeup classes, hair and makeup classes for people that were pursuing a career in entertainment. And I started taking classes that I paid for by working there effectively as a trade. And I eventually worked there long enough to be able to pay for my headshots, which are the pictures that you use in the industry to...
All right, Moki says that basketball and 50 years are separate cases, just to be clear. Okay.
Promote yourself, in whatever, acting, modeling, or both.
Okay. And what, if any, charitable work did you do when you were still young?
It started off as a requirement for the school I went to, and then I liked it so much, I think, because it meant I wasn't at home, and that was important to.
All right, Moki, let's see what else is in here. All right, so that is about her beginning, like how she started out. Let's see. Let's see about this part. All right, Sam, so what sparked the Heard versus Depp case is that she was accusing him of, being abusive, and there is this Me Too movement, and he got fired from Disney, and he was Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, and his reputation was tarnished as a woman abuser, and he wanted to bring back his name, and his whole life was ruined, so that's why the situation occurred. And, like, for instance, it's like and then I knew somebody in the trial chat, this at Independent, where somebody that worked with him in 21 Jump Street as an extra, and he thought that Johnny was being too upset or overreacting over it. But I'm like, I can understand, and even he told me, like, in Hollywood, from what he knew about it, is that these young actresses will go with older, more famous, wealthier actors to get money and stuff out of them. And he thought that since she has a whole career, her life ahead of him, it's not right to do that to her. But as I said, my opinion, like, say it's like Alien Spaceship on YouTube, right? Hansel plays Alien Spaceship on YouTube. If Hansel got slandered for something he didn't do, I can understand why Hansel would be upset about losing the Alien Spaceship thing. So I could, although it's not, like, I'm not comparing myself to him, I can kind of relate to where he's coming from, where if anybody had their name tarnished over something they didn't do, especially hurting a lady, especially if there's a big movement going on, I could see why he would want to do this, in my opinion. A mega pint, yeah. Oh, yeah, Moki was saying that, her did the dookie. Yeah, she did a dookie. She liked to, we used to call her Amber Turd. Yeah, she's Amber Turd. And she on his beard. Scared. That's another reason, yeah. She did some dookie. She thought she was in Canada for a second. For one moment, she thought she was in Canada, but not true. Right, in fact, Santa, yes.
Describe, if you can, the events of the filming and your interactions with Mr. Depp during that time.
This is about their history, about how they got to know each other, and we're going to go over some of like the funny stuff in the stream. This part is about how she met Depp. Let's see.
It was a bit surreal, filming in a place like Puerto Rico. It was beautiful. It takes place in the 50s, so everything really looked beautiful. And, cars and clothing, the music. It was a very colorful shoot in general. I couldn't have asked for, a better scenario. I was on film. I mean, I was on set, reading my books, and occasionally Johnny would talk to me. And
You see how emotional she's getting and so like irritated she's getting and getting all like passionate. It just that's why people don't like her. The way she like is like, oh, and I talked to him and I knew him, and she was acting all like goofy about it.
then he started to be really kind to me, like more open with me. When we'd have hot days filming, there'd be this big SUV pull up, and a security guard would kind of usher me into this car, and it would have the AC blasting, and I'd be sitting in the back of the SUV, just thinking what a strange experience the whole thing was. And, we didn't really have a whole lot of interaction on set until we did a scene that involved kissing. We had a kissing scene, and it didn't feel like a normal scene anymore. It felt more real. There are certain things that you do in the job to be professional, like when you have to do that sort of scene, and you don't.
Yeah, Johnny's reaction's always priceless. He never looked at her ever. And yeah, he's drawing, playing a game, and he also likes to eat his gummy bears. And yes, I remember when everyone thought she snorted coke on the stand. I remember that. Absolutely hilarious.
Don't you you don't use your tongue if you can avoid it. There's certain things that you do to just maintain a certain line, and it just felt like those lines were blurred. I mean, he grabbed my face and pulled me into him and really kissed me.
Yeah, she's saying that when he kissed her, he was very aggressive about it. You see what she's doing here? She's trying. Oh, he was so aggressive. He really went into it. It's like anything this guy does is wrong in her eyes, in my opinion.
But we were filming a scene.
Did he use his tongue?
Yes.
Okay. Did you celebrate your birthday while you were in Puerto Rico?
I did. I celebrated, I think, maybe my 23rd birthday there.
And what, if anything, did Mr. Depp do for your birthday?
Well, we were already kind of talking about books and poetry and things like that. He gave me a few really beautiful poetry books. And he gave me a bicycle, like a vintage bicycle, because at the time I was riding around on a bike, and I had a lot of time off since I was a smaller role in the movie.
You see, when she talks about what he did, it shows what kind person that he was to her. She's pretty smart, though, speaks several languages, and got knocked up by Elon. In this situation, all the intelligence went out the window, in my opinion. Oh yeah, my dog stepped on a bee. That was hilarious. Yeah, just the way she conveyed her message and just wasn't the best, in my opinion.
And yeah, I think that was it.
Okay. Now, did there come a time that you ended up visiting him in his trailer?
Yes, I think we would hang out if, after or in between scenes or in between setups. We often were, talking about things, and would continue the conversation into the trailer, often with the director. Bruce Robinson was his name. And then at one point we talk about wine. It's another thing that Johnny and I shared in common, a love for wine, red wine. And we were talking about a kind of wine that I enjoyed, and I was, going on about how great this bargain wine was, and I didn't understand how much more sophisticated.
Her smile's annoying too. Like Loki says, the bottle thing killed me. Like, does she know what a marker's mark is? Looks like you have to go into the hospital scared. Oak says, Sam, yes, they dated for a while, and then Elon was pictured with a black eye. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Johnny's taste in wine was. So I was going on about the virtues of Malbec or something, and I brought him a bottle of this wine, and I set it down. And at some point, I'm going back to get back to set, and he kind of kicked his foot up in the air and basically kind of lifted the back of my bathrobe up. And
Can I just stop you there? Why were you wearing a bathrobe?
because I was doing a scene, it was a period film, so it took place in the 50s. And so I had all of this old undergarments that are for that time era on. And the scene involved me changing. So I had all the costume on. And he kind of picked up the back of my robe with his boot. And I kind of turned around and laughed, giggled, I didn't know what to make of it at the time. And I just kind of giggled, and
She's kind of giggled. Kind of giggled. When she said, covered a swollen lip with ice, I lost it, something like that. It's not a big deal for me. Yeah, really, yeah, exactly. It's hilarious.
batted her away playfully, and he kind of playfully kind of pushed me down on this bed sofa that was in his trailer, just playful and flirtatious, and he said, yum, and he kind of lifted up his eyebrows like that. And I just giggled, laughed it off, kind of batted him away, and, moved on, went back to set.
And were you in a relationship at that time?
I was.
Okay. And was Mr. Depp in a relationship at that time?
That was my understanding, yeah.
Okay. And did anything else of significant happen during that time period while you were filming with Mr. Depp, other than what you've told us?
We just had this, it was a friendship, a flirtatious thing. I felt chemistry. I felt this other thing that went beyond the pale of my job, for sure. Johnny clearly felt that way about me, had indicated to me that that's how he felt in many different ways. And
Yes, she's in Spain now, Lauren.
but at the same time, we were both in relationships, and it is a job, and it was intimidating, and I just remember feeling kind of intimidated and a little nervous about that. And I also was in a relationship, so we went our separate ways, and I didn't hear from him for a long time.
And that's, so approximately how long were you filming in Puerto Rico for the Rum Diary?
A few months is my best
All right.
guess.
And when you left Puerto Rico in the filming, when is the next time that you had any contact from Mr. Depp? And contact could include anything, communications, written communications, as well as telephone or otherwise.
We had no contact until Johnny called me on the phone one day, and I was driving, and he invited me over to his home in California, Beverly Hills. And I it was out of the blue. I didn't even have his phone number. So it was quite unexpected. He called me a second time, but I don't think we actually connected, or we didn't stay on the phone, because we didn't really speak. But the first time was the only time I actually spoke to him, and he invited me over to his house under kind of he said that, we could get Bruce, who was the director, to come over, something about the movie, but it was clearly not about the movie, if you know what I mean. It was, so I said, I said, my friends are in town, and I'm busy with that, and kind of hung up, feeling really startled, you know.
Is she saying that she was startled by him? She was startled. Yeah. And I don't know why she continued to date him if she didn't like him so much. It's very weird. Ogie says, I guess she and Elon froze embryos and they had twins in surrogate after they broke up, something like that. Ogie said, this trial spawned all the trial grifters. His demeanor is hilarious. He gives 0 Fs. Yeah. Her saying he punched her in the face with all those rings but didn't bust her face open is lies. Yeah, because there's a scene where she had some makeup on her face and she said that he punched her in the face with all those rings and stuff. I highly, highly doubt that. Complete nonsense.
Didn't know what else to do.
What, if any, gifts did Mr. Depp send you during that time period after you filmed The Rum Diary?
He sent me several gifts. He sent me a beautiful dress, one that I wore in the movie, with a beautiful handwritten note, said happy wrapping, and made a reference to the dress being wrapping paper. He sent me a few gorgeous, expensive, what I can only assume are expensive, collectible books, items. And then when I was away filming on a different job, he he did send me some guitars. I know one delivery, I was informed about one delivery, and my partner at the time intercepted the attempt to deliver and called me immediately and said, what should I do? And I said, send it back. And she did. And she indicated that there was another one that had already previously attempted delivery, and it was also rejected. I sent it back because I wasn't there and I wouldn't have accepted it anyway.
Okay. Did there come a time that you ended up having to go on a press tour for The Rum Diary?
I got a call for the Rum Diary press tour in the fall of 2011.
So that's close to two and a half years after you filmed?
I'm an actress, not a mathematician for a reason. Roughly, yes.
Okay. And could you please describe for the jury what a press tour is? Just explain it to them.
Well, you take a movie once it's completed, and if it doesn't have distribution, you, as part of the promotion of that movie, you go to these various places, normally cities, like London or New York.
Sam, she's bisexual. Right now in Spain, she has a partner that's a woman. She dates both of them. Sharon says, Mogi, he was down to earth. A jury probably loved him. Yeah, definitely. And he was hilarious in the stand, long-winded but funny. Yes. And Anna said she probably peed in her pants when he called. Yeah, exactly.
And you do press events in those cities to kind of promote the film, and you go to place talking about the film.
And so you were then called to participate in the press tour for The Rum Diary?
Yes, I had just finished going through the process of separation with my former partner, and I was moving and going through that, and I got a phone call saying, remember that movie you did in Puerto Rico? Well, they want you for the press tour. And I said, well, perfect timing. And we did that, I think late October 2011.
Okay. So describe for the jury your interactions with Mr. Depp during the press tour.
Well, on the the beginning of the tour was Los Angeles, where we both lived, and we did a press day, normal press day, and then at the end of it, I was invited.
Moki, this is what happened. So with Johnny, he said that he thought she was a very nice girl, and his mother was abusive, and his father stayed with his mom, so that's just what he was used to. You know, like when people that have like a, sometimes they have an abusive parent, it's just what, that's all they know. So that's why he didn't maybe have the foresight to tell that there was something nefarious going on in this situation. All right. A very good question.
Invited by Johnny to come up to his room to have a drink with him and the director of the film. And I went up to the room to see both him and Bruce, but as soon as I got there, Johnny said Bruce wasn't going to make it. So I stayed. Johnny and I started talking. He asked me about my relationship. I said, well, you know, I'm going through it. I'm going through the separation right now, and it's been, you know, rough couple of months, but that's normal. And he said, well, that's same with me. You know, it's been, I can't remember exactly how long he said it had been, but that he had split from the mother of his kids, and said that he understood.
Right, and then what happened next?
Then we drank red wine and continued to talk, and the talking became us, you know, reconnect. You know, it was like reconnection was almost instant. It was just chemistry. It's hard to explain that, but we sat on the couch and we talked, and you know, it felt like there was it felt like there was an electricity to the room. And it's how I felt when I was alone with him anyway. And it was instant again. I was like, whoa. So on the couch, we talked, finished some wine, and then I got up and left. And as I went to leave, he grabbed both sides of my face, similar to what he did in Puerto Rico when we were filming that scene. And he kissed me, and I kissed him back.
And what happened next with respect to any relationship with Mr. Depp?
Well, then we fell in love. We went on this press tour.
Yeah, exactly. The friends mooched off of him too. That is correct. And yeah, completely fake Moki. Exactly. He did stay Sam, and also Lauren. Yeah, he was extremely generous to her. Yeah, absolutely.
And we went, it was a beautiful and strange time. You know, we were flying from one, not together, but, you know, going from one city to the next, Europe, New York, Los Angeles, as I said, and we're just traveling around talking about this movie that we did together, that we participated in together. And we were falling in love. I mean, it was just, you know, at the first dinner in London, he sat me next to me. You know, he produced the film and was a part of controlling the film and was responsible for different things than I was as an actor having a small part in it. And we went on this press tour, and I think in London he had me sat next to him at a dinner, and then we ended up spending the night together in my hotel room. And for the rest of the press tour, we were. It was on. I'll put it that way.
All right. And how long approximately did the press tour go?
I don't know exactly how long it lasted. I think, you know, there were press engagements in this city for a few.
Hello, Aaron. We are watching and I'm reacting to the Amber Heard's testimony in the Johnny Depp trial. And we've been talking about she likes to do dookie on beds and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing at the moment. And it's great to see you, Aaron. Welcome to the stream.
Few days, and then another city for a few days, and then there was a break, and then there was another press opportunity, I believe. So it was kind of spread out over maybe a month, if I'm guessing.
So when you returned to Los Angeles, what, if anything, took place with any relationship with Mr. Depp?
Well, once we were back from the press tour, we had this, whirlwind romance kind of just in these like beautiful places all over, and we're falling in love and not able to really show it because he wasn't, the world didn't know about the split between he and his former partner. And of course, as a woman, I was like, is that trouble?
All right, we'll go listen to Johnny's part. Okay. All right, these are the top comebacks of Johnny Depp.
Do you have a drinking problem, Johnny?
Objection calls for hearsay. What the
A
doctor?
different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. For him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
I'm not interested. Sheriff's offered for the truth of the matter, sir.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning.
There you go.
Let me put it a different way.
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
And you wrote that about the. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
And you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
That's my question to you, sir.
No, I wasn't drinking that
Let's-
heavily.
We
I
can.
mean,
Let's turn to the UK
it's
116,
definition,
please.
what you define as heavily, sir.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
Right. We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
Zoe, great to see you, Zoe, and only have a minute, but hi to you all. Amber Heard's kids were born through surrogate. She did not actually give birth to any. Thank you. Yeah, bro's funny. Yeah, bro's funny.
Of a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
Right. We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I
He'd had a conversation with Ms. Heard.
hearsay, Your Honor.
Let's move beyond the
All right, let's
conversation
move on.
that
Sure.
Kevin Murphy had with Ms. Heard.
He said, yes, they had. Okay. And it appears that Ms. Heard had told...
Hearsay, Your Honor.
I'm not sure.
This is apparently a statement by Ms. Heard.
That he was.
described to Ms. Heard that...
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, I'll do that. Next,
And I appreciate.
Sorry, it's evidence.
Sorry.
next question, okay?
My former business managers were quite
Objection.
disturbing.
Hearsay.
I believe he said he showed him.
Yes, yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers, I don't know.
I believe he was being shown financial documents.
All right, so,
Mr. Depp, I appreciate you've gotten a lot of chance to talk, and I'm trying to be respectful of the court's time and the jury's time. So I'm going to ask you that question again, because I think it's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is,
You'd like it to be, sir. Nothing simple in this case.
other than mentioning the fact, the op-ed in the Washington Post, correct?
Objection, lack of foundation.
out loud if you can answer it.
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
This was a document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed, yes.
Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
Dated August 15th, 2016, right?
That's what it says, yes.
And this is this is a document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
You go to paragraph 27, please. Did I read that right?
You did, Mr.
Take
Rottenborn.
that down, Michelle. And that was a document you signed in August of 2016, correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
fourth.
I wanted to make clear that you
You've
signed
made it
that in
clear.
the summer of 2016, 2 years before Ms. Heard published her op-ed.
I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
He always had very good comebacks. Always had very good comebacks. And yes, and certainly a comedy show. And shout out the chat. Awesome. Awesome.
Sorry.
All right. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
Do your words, sir, right? I read that right, correct?
You did. But so, yes.
You didn't
I
react.
did assault a couple of cabinets, but I did not touch Miss Heard.
And
As you can see, I think, no. 333.
this is day 2. This is from the UK trial.
Yes, we seem to be there a lot. I was going to end up with a very ugly situation with Amber, so
Mr.
I
Depp,
doubled up
with respect,
the,
trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question
I
was simply,
understand. When
you
you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that, let's do it this way. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please.
500?
500, Defense Exhibit 500.
That's a good.
Oh, wow, Aaron. I'm glad that you're here with us now, but yeah, it was amazing to watch. That's how I first found the trial stuff.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
Okay, and a very different thing from what you texted Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay, so the Boston flight was in May. Okay, well then let's do this. So is it your testimony that right after you cut your finger off, right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Right.
that you
Sean Bailey, who was the number 3.
objection hearsay.
I don't know yet. I'll overrule it at this point.
Thank you.
May I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just basically said in the...
Objection hearsay.
Your
What
Honor,
Sean Bailey said.
this is about him
It's in
learning
the
about this.
article.
It's not for the truth.
It is the truth. She's
If
asking.
you want to approach.
Please explain to the jury who Sean Bailey is. I think you were starting to.
Yes, I'll try again. Sean Bailey was quoted as saying that...
Objection hearsay.
Mr. Depp, where was Sean Bailey quoted, without getting into what he was quoted as saying?
It's entitled Johnny Depp, Friends and Family Seriously Concerned About Him. Here's Why.
Yes,
Correct.
how did they know?
The next article from May, did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
The next
These are
article,
all hit
also
pieces.
from May
These are
10th,
drafts, sir.
2017.
This is a pathetic attempt.
Mr. Depp, please just respond to the question that I'm asking you.
What's your
The next
question, Mr.
question,
Rottenborn?
the next document, did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter, did I read that
Allegedly
correctly?
reports say, this is hearsay, is
June
it not?
21st,
Your
2018,
favorite word?
6 months before the op-ed was published, use an earpiece on a film set.
I think that was
I read
explained in
that
court the
correctly?
other day. Oh, you did, yeah.
Did I read that correctly?
You did. Who's Alison Boshoff and how does she know?
Mr. Depp, you can't name
Oh,
a
it won't
single
have to,
actress. You didn't want her acting. You wanted to control her career, correct?
Objection compound.
That's
I'll-
patently
hold on,
untrue. It's a
Mr.
great
Depp,
guess.
sir. All right, yes, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Sorry.
We can move on. You're complaining about her ambition in this text to her, to Dr. Kipper, correct?
I'm realizing that her ambition is far stronger than her supposed feelings for me, yes. At the age of 12, finding the only thing that gave me peace, which is playing the guitar, very unlikely. Why didn't I start lopping off digits when I was 13 then?
Just the way it was worded. Now, Miss Heard wasn't the only one. Testified on Thursday that you saw nothing wrong with referring to Amber as a lesbian camp counselor when she was trying to get you to stop using drugs. But let's take a look at what you say in
She
this
had used
text.
that term before.
In this text, there were numerous negative news stories about you. You'd agree with that, correct?
Objection compound.
All right, I'll sustain it to compound.
For years prior to 2018.
Her faces are so annoying. And Rottenborn's questions are rotten.
Thank you so much. Based on the
We'll just take a look at the
accusations
next
that she
exhibit, Mr.
brought.
Depp.
I'm sorry, I was talking. Is that all right?
You would answer my question. We'll take a look at the next exhibit. Thank you.
yeah. As long as you're happy, sir.
Last week, Mr. Rottenborn asked you about a quote where you said you wouldn't come back to the Pirates franchise for $300 million and 1 million alpacas. Do you remember that?
I do.
When relative to, do you recall when specifically you made that statement about the $300 million and the 100 alpacas?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Mr. Depp, do you recognize this document?
As soon as my eyes go on, I hopefully will. Oh, there it goes. I'm so pathetic when it comes to knowing what movies I've done. I'm sorry. I just, I don't watch them. I feel better not watching them. What was the question again?
How many?
I have order in the court, or I will have you removed. Understood? Thank you.
How many other friends? And Mr. Depp, I believe this is another text message with Mr. Bettany that you were shown on your cross-examination.
Yeah. And when he came home from school...
Your Honor, I'm just going to object on relevance. The question was, who was this about?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Depp,
Where she could be
Objection beyond
photographed.
the scope of the question, Your Honor.
Sorry?
I believe he was responding to what he meant by what he wrote in his text message
And then
to
he said
Dr.
I meant exactly what the word said, and now he's going beyond.
All right,
the
I'll
scope.
sustain the objection. Next question.
Thank you, Mr. Roddenborn.
Your
Sir, if
Honor,
you could just answer the question, Mr. Depp, please.
Sir,
Direct your
sorry.
attention just to your attorney, okay?
Sorry, Your Honor. The one that was the day when my tip of my finger disappeared. There's no metadata that I'm aware of for that tape. Also, apparently looking for any metadata is impossible as it is
Your
now
Honor,
owned
beyond
by...
the scope of the
I'll
question.
sustain the objection. All right, your next witness.
Those are some of Johnny Depp's best moments. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see some scenes from the cross-examination of Amber Heard. You're welcome, Anna.
All right, are we ready for the jury?
You're welcome, chat, Sharon, and everybody. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, we're doing Amber Heard cross right now. And I don't mind skipping through it if we need to. Here we go, right here.
You described, you witnessed Mr. Depp bashing the phone against a wall, right?
That is correct.
You testified that the phone was breaking into pieces.
I was watching it disappear.
And Mr. Depp smashed it, I think your word was smithereens.
Yes, that is correct.
And according to your testimony, this was a wall-mounted phone in the
We'll make sure y'all could see the whole screen right here. Let's go this way. This. Alright, this way y'all could see the full screen. It was a little bit cut off before. Alrighty, that's fixed. Y'all could see both sides.
bar area.
That is correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1820. I believe this has already been admitted into evidence, if we could have it published. Thank you. You saw this photo during your direct examination, right?
That is correct.
And you testified that the wall-mounted phone that you saw Mr. Depp smash is on the wall on the left.
That's correct. So if you were looking at this picture, the wall-mounted phone would have been behind you on the left-hand side of your shoulder.
It's not depicted in this photo, correct?
Whoever took this photo standing right in front of where that mounted phone was.
That's convenient. The pieces of the phone Mr. Depp smashed aren't in this picture either, right?
You don't see it because it's whoever took this photo standing in front of that.
Whoever took this photo, it's Mr. Ben King, correct?
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Mr. King testified under oath in this trial, right?
That is correct.
And he testified that there was no wall-mounted phone smashed to smithereens that he had to replace, correct?
I didn't hear him testify to that, no.
He did. Your counsel elicited it.
I disagree with that representation.
You also saw this picture. Actually, can we please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1821, which is also admitted into evidence? You also saw this picture during your direct examination, correct?
That is correct.
And so this is the bar area to the right of the wall-mounted phone you just described.
If you were facing in that direction, if you're facing this direction, it would be behind you.
This phone on the counter isn't the phone that got smashed to smithereens, is it?
No, they brought that out during my testimony in the UK as well, and I said this in the UK trial as well, that is not the phone, obviously, because that one's not smashed and it's not wall-mounted.
Yeah, so there are two phones in the bar area.
There was a wall-mounted phone. I don't know if it was decorative or what, but it was like it looked antique, large and antique.
And what the large and antique one that's not depicted in any photograph, including ones you took, is the one that Mr. Depp damaged, correct?
That is correct. I only took pictures of the mirrors.
So there's no picture of that damaged phone?
I didn't take a picture of it, no.
Okay. So back to the phone smashing. You watched Mr. Depp smash the phone, right?
That's correct. I watched it.
And you testified that you were, quote, watching the phone every single time he pulled his hand back, end quote.
That's correct.
And according to you, this is when Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger, right?
It is my best guess. I didn't notice his finger come off, obviously. I was
That's our best guess.
watching him smash the phone and watching the pieces break while he was doing it.
Well, it's not your best guess, Ms. Heard.
That is my best guess, yes.
Okay, let's go back to my questions. You submitted a declaration under the penalty of perjury in this case. Do you remember that?
That is correct.
Okay, let's look at that declaration.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
could direct your attention, Ms. Hurd, to the page 14 of the declaration. Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
And your signature appears right under the statement, quote, "I declare, under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of Virginia, that the foregoing is true and correct."
That is correct.
And this is dated April 10th, 2019.
Correct.
Now let's look at paragraph 16, which is on page 5. Specifically line 10. Quote, you write, testify under oath, "While he was smashing the phone, Johnny severely injured his finger, cutting off the top of it," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
So you testified in this courtroom that after Mr. Depp smashed the phone, he held you down on the countertop by the neck. Do you remember that?
I'm not quite sure of the exact sequence of things, but yes, both of those things happened.
We'll get to the sequence. And this is when Mr. Depp supposedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
On the countertop, he assaulted me.
So Mr. Depp was able to get you on the counter, right?
He held me down by my neck.
And hold you down by your neck.
That is correct.
And he grabbed a bottle, according to you, while holding you down by the neck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you clarify what you're asking me?
While Mr. Depp is holding you by the neck against the countertop, he grabs a bottle. That's your testimony.
No, those two things didn't happen at the exact same time, no.
So he's holding the bottle, is that your testimony?
He
While
was
holding
holding
you down by the neck?
Sorry. What was your question?
Your testimony is, Ms. Hurd, that either he has the bottle before or after he's holding you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle that he assaulted
At what
with?
point?
While holding you down by your neck.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
Man, she really is a character here, and Anna's saying he was the calmest, quietest kid I've ever seen. Exactly. And yes, I remember Moki with the microphone, and yeah, the lady lawyer did get her. And didn't he say he refused to put his eyes on her ever again? Yes, that's true. Yeah, he wasn't going to put his eyes on her.
When he puts you on the counter, does he have the bottle in his hand, yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence. And while he was on 8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the sequence. This is the sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom. That he smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes? That's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day assault that took place over
I think she'd remember, in my opinion.
3 horrible days.
Ms. Hurd,
It's the worst thing ever
Ms. Hurd,
happened to me. I
we're
don't
not
remember
Ms.
the
Hurd,
exact sequence.
that's not my question. My question isn't about the 3-day assault, allegedly, that occurred. I'm just talking about the sexual assault that you now allege occurred.
Yes,
Okay?
correct.
Let's talk about the sequence. So you testified, actually. Yeah, I know. I just realized that. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, and that is true, Moki, absolutely. Shout out to Mary Toodles. We're reacting to Johnny Depp trial. I'm reacting to it. What happened a while ago? Yes. Yeah. Yes. We're just like going over it again. Yeah, definitely Mookie.
We gave it to you yesterday. Court transcript. Yes. Ms. Hurd, do you have a copy of day 16 in front of you?
Day 16? Yes, of my
Court transcript?
deposition?
Yes. No, of the court transcript from this trial.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the transcript. So you testified on page, I'm getting there, 4506. Through this, Ms. Hurd, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
It was horrible. What happened to me, yes.
Okay, so let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3. I sit here now. Apologize. You testified on page 4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
That is correct.
Then, directing your attention to page 4518. Line 19. You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Then on page 4519, at line 3, you testified that while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is screaming, quote, "I fucking hate you," end quote, right?
Yes, he was screaming that, among other things.
And further down on page
Oh, it's like meth, Anna. MDMA, it's dioxymethamine. It's a type of. It has like a meth type thing in it. And MDMA is illegal since 1985. It has been a Schedule 1 drug. Yes, Aaron, that's true. It's ecstasy, yes.
4519, same page, lines 12 through 19. You talk about how you watched Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Then, continuing on the same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, "At some point, he's on top of me. No phone, but screaming the same thing," end quote, right?
I just remember the sound, yes.
But you remember, and you testified to this jury, that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
He had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
So you're acknowledging, by this sequence, not my words, your words, Ms. Hurd, that you testified to this jury that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted you. That's the sequencing in which you testified, correct?
I have never testified to a sequence.
Keep talking about that sequence. Then on page 4521, starting at line 3, You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Okay.
Now acid and shrooms. Yeah. I've heard of Molly before. Yeah, Sam. Yeah, not being in control of yourself, I would understand that wouldn't be that appealing. Right. Thanks, chat, for the info, and you're welcome, Anna. Oh yeah, Aaron, understood. You know, some things work better for some people than others. So yeah, you just do what's best for you.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 4521, starting at line 3. You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
That is correct.
And then feeling pressure on your pubic bone like Mr. Depp was punching you. Yes?
That's what I thought.
And then further down on page 4521 and on to 4522.
Hey, Doe, we're reacting to the Depp trial. Amber Heard's cross-examination. And Ado said, this is off topic, but I wanted to let you know when I was editing shorts earlier today, I noticed that your voice was in the background. Oh, nice, okay. Thanks for letting me know that. Scared. And Sam says, same, I stick to my Modellas and weed. Oh, okay, understood. Yes, you must have been listening to an alien while you're recording. You didn't start experimenting until you're 21. Ah, okay, interesting, Sam. Thank you for sharing.
You testified that you were concerned Mr. Depp was using a broken bottle on you. Yes?
That was my fear.
Okay.
That's what I remember feeling.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 1816.
Yeah, Anna, we could speculate about that. She may have been drinking, but I am very certain that she orchestrated it on her own, where like her evil mind thought of it, but I'm sure as she was drinking, she could have hallucinated it. And she did do hallucinogenics, apparently, from what I saw. She did do hallucinogenics. So she could have hallucinated it. Okay, Doe. Thank you. I'll surely check it out. She did push his buttons. That is true, Sharon.
Which has already been admitted.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You saw this picture during your direct examination, right?
I did.
And you testified that this is a picture of the bottles that were next to Mr. Depp on a desk when you found him drinking in the morning, right?
That's correct.
And this was the morning after Mr. Depp had allegedly sexually assaulted you, right?
It was the morning after he did assault me. Yes.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you testified that this is the Maker's Mark bottle that Mr. Depp sexually assaulted you with.
I was never sure it was, but it was definitely that shape. Felt like that shape.
But you testified in this courtroom that you had not seen this bottle until Ben King provided these photographs, correct?
And not in the course of the trial. I hadn't seen the photograph.
You claim you had serious injuries after this alleged incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Depends on what you would call serious. For me, having a sore jaw and some bruises at the time of my relationship wasn't that serious.
Okay, let's testify.
Relative.
Let's focus on the testimony that you gave about the injuries. Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger, right?
Moki said the bottle is on the right, and that marker's marked bottle. I'm telling you, that would rupture something. I get it, Moki. I don't know enough about it, but from looking at it, I think what you said makes sense. And Sam says hallucinogenics are nuts and will bring out your biggest insecurities if in bad state of mind. Yeah, my buddy Joe, Alien Joe, he told me to stay away from psychedelics because it's not good for the brain or a spirit. It could do something bad. So he says best to stay away from it. And I'm glad I listened. I never was going to do it, but I listened to his advice. Yeah.
Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger, right?
Sometimes, I mean, often, and certainly in the later part of our relationship, that was more normal than not. But if he's filming or something like that, of course, he's not going to have his own jewelry on.
Your testimony in this trial was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings, correct?
You need to put your microphone on, miss. Thank you.
Objection.
The attorney didn't have her microphone on.
Improper impeachment. If she's going to ask her question, then she has to show where that was, and then.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you. Your testimony yesterday was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings, right, Ms. Heard?
That's what I testified to, yes.
Okay. And he was wearing rings on every finger in Australia, correct?
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Ms. Heard. Your words are, I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger.
That is what I testified to.
Okay. And you testified that you bled as a result of this sexual assault, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you testified that your forearms were cut.
My forearms and my feet.
And your feet were sliced up.
That's correct.
And you testified you had a bruise across your jaw.
That is correct.
And there is not a single medical record reflecting treatment for any of those injuries, is there, Ms. Heard?
I didn't seek treatment.
And the day after you sustained all these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day, along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with Nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning.
Okay, Sam, understood. And yeah, good night to you if we're not on when you're back. But yeah, it's just, Sam, thank you for being here and hanging out with us. Good luck with closing up shop and everything. It was great seeing you here today. Great commentary. And it said, that's what I would do if I were to do it, but scared to try them. Understood. Yeah, I'm rewinding a little bit so y'all could see, so Sharon could see the other part. Aaron said, her answering the jury instead of a lawyer is throwing me off. I mean, I get it, but it's weird for me. Yeah, it is weird. It's like she's trying to be persuasive. And she's like desperate.
The day after you sustained all these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day, along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with Nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning, like early hour morning, so technically that last day.
Dr. David Kipper is Mr. Depp's, or was Mr. Depp's physician, right?
I believe he still is.
But
yes.
He was at the time.
Yes, that's correct.
And he was also your physician.
He also saw me.
No, not saw you. He was your physician, correct, Ms. Heard?
Johnny was the client, but he also treated me.
All right, let's please pull up. Do you remember giving testimony in this case in a deposition, Ms. Heard?
Yes, I do. I've given a couple.
If we could please pull up the deposition transcript, day 2. At 589, lines 6 through 8. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Moki. Her reaction was hilarious to this nonsense.
Position for the jury, lines day 2, page 540, lines 6 through 9. If we have permission to publish it.
You gotta give me.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, day 2, page 589, lines 6 through 8.
All right, if you could just give us a minute to get
Of
there.
course.
589.
I'm sorry, what were the lines again?
Page 589, lines 6 through 8.
Wait. Did you say 540 or 589?
589, lines 6 through 8.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have no objection, Your Honor.
And he was your doctor at this point, right?
Yes, he was.
Debbie Lloyd also came to the house that day.
Yes, she came with Kipper.
Yeah. Miss Lloyd is a nurse, correct?
That is correct.
Malcolm Connolly also came to the house that day.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Connolly is one of the security guards, correct?
That is correct.
You had known Mr. Connolly for years at that point.
Yes, that's correct.
You flew back to Los Angeles the next day with Ben King. Is that right?
I can't be certain if it was the next day or the day after, but somewhere around there, yes.
And the day you arrived back in Los Angeles, you saw Travis McGivern, correct?
I don't recall seeing Travis, no.
You don't recall Mr. McGivern picking you up from the airport with Ben King?
I don't remember that, no.
And the same day, you also saw your own nurse, Erin Barem Filati, that day, correct? The day you arrived in Los Angeles?
I don't recall if I saw her that day.
You saw Miss Filati's testimony in this case by video deposition, correct?
That is correct.
And you heard her testify that she saw you the day you arrived back from Australia on March 9th, 2015.
I believe she testified that she came to dinner where I was with friends. Yeah, I believe that.
So she saw you that day.
I believe that evening I saw her at dinner.
Okay. And then you saw Erin Barem Filati again the next day for a private meeting, didn't you?
I'm not sure if that's what she testified to. I'd have to just see the records to know.
You heard her testify, according to her notes. She met with you privately on March 10th, 2015.
She met with me at some point upon my arrival, but I don't remember the exact date.
And when you were in Australia, Ms. Heard, you didn't take any pictures of the injuries you claim to have sustained, right?
I did not take any pictures, no.
But you did take 2 pictures.
Of the mirrors. I took 2 pictures of the bathroom mirrors. That was the master bathroom where I was.
Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 374, which is already in evidence. You took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's correct.
And this is a mirror in the bathroom in Australia.
That's correct.
And this black paint on the mirror is from Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
He wrote on the mirror in black paint after his finger was cut off, right?
Yes, I only know that because there was blood as well as paint.
So you took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his fingers, correct?
This was while I was packing when I was leaving.
That's
That's
a
when I
yes,
took
right,
the photo.
Ms. Heard?
What's the question? I'm sorry.
You took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured.
Yeah, very spicy. Yeah, because she's taking pictures of every little thing that he does, and and she thinks that links him to doing something abusive. It's so creepy lunch.
his finger.
That's correct.
And you took this picture after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp, yes?
That's correct.
Yet you didn't capture yourself in the mirror, did you?
I don't see myself in the mirror, no.
Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 375. You took this picture as well, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this is from...
Yeah, Sharon, she takes the pictures while she's packing. I know, so weird, right? It's like, huh. Right, but not any serious injuries. Exactly, Jack. Exactly. This is called a straw man fallacy. Chasing a red herring and smoke and mirrors. Literally smoke and mirrors. Like, that has to do with anything. He was known to be an artist, so it is completely cringe. None of the injuries. I take pictures when I get hangnail. Oh, I'm very weird. It's all good, Aaron. More common sense and logical than Amber Heard. Right? The only thing that she took a picture of was when she put some makeup on her face when she got hit, but it wasn't by him. because she would have knocked him. He would have knocked her silly. It wouldn't be just a little like blush area where makeup is.
From one of the bathroom mirrors in Australia.
That's correct.
This is also a picture taken after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And this is also a picture taken after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You didn't capture yourself in the mirror in this picture either, did you?
I do not see myself in the mirror in that picture.
Is that because you didn't have any visible injuries on you?
It's because I was taking a picture of the writing.
Let's talk about the writing on this mirror. So the writing in black paint is from Mr. Depp, correct?
It's all from Mr. Depp.
And it's your testimony under oath that you did not write the red text that says, quote, "Call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe," end quote.
That's correct.
Because if you did write that, it means that your husband was walking around the house bleeding from his amputated finger, and you're writing snarky messages to him on a mirror, right?
I don't know what your question to me is. I'm sorry.
Let's please take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1830. And I believe this picture is also admitted into evidence.
That's correct.
This is a picture of the same mirror, right?
That's correct.
But you didn't take this picture.
No, I did not.
This is the one that Ben King took.
And I don't see him in the mirror either.
I don't believe he claimed he had injuries, though. Is that right?
I did not hear Ben King talk about his injuries, no.
Okay. So you would agree, Ms. Heard, that the black text on the mirror says, quote, "She loves naked photos of herself. So modern, so hot."
Aaron, so Johnny was not a saint, and he went through things in his life. My opinion, I think Amber Heard was the abuser, and she lied and slandered his name, made fun of him. So I'd say Amber Heard was the worst one in my opinion. Johnny Depp's not perfect. Johnny is not perfect at all. But these allegations that he was being accused of, he was innocent of. All the women that knew him in his life say what a kind person he was, and Anna went to school with him one time, and he was just the nice, quiet kid. So he did not have a track record of abuse with other people. Usually there's a track record of it. That Amber Heard's the turd in this case. And Sharon said she knew how to get him riled up. Yeah. And I will say that she pushed his buttons, and she knew what to do, and yeah, exactly. Exactly, Aaron. Yeah, there you go. Correct, Moki. Right.
I had not read that yet. I mean, before, but yeah, that's what it says.
But you were taking pictures of the text, but you had not read that before?
I haven't seen this. It didn't make sense to me at the time when I read it in person.
Okay. Again, Mr. Depp wrote that.
I don't know who else would have.
So, Ms. Heard, just to be clear, it's your testimony that Mr. Depp also wrote the message in red about Carly Simon saying it better, right?
That's correct.
You know Carly Simon sang the song "You're So Vain," right?
I was told that.
You're So Vain by Carly Simon is my dad's favorite song, by the way.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the mirror back and forth.
The best I can describe it is it looked like a crazy conversation. It was on the walls, it was
With
on
himself.
lampshades, it was on cushions.
It's your testimony the crazy conversation was with himself.
That's what it looked like from the bloody messages I found.
And you would agree with me that in
Right, Anna's saying, think he showed restraint, may damage property instead of her. He aimed his anger towards something else instead of her, exactly.
Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the mirror back and forth.
The best I can describe it is it looked like a crazy conversation. It was on the walls, it was
With
on
himself.
lampshades, it was on cushions.
It's your testimony the crazy conversation was with himself.
That's what it looked like from the bloody messages I found.
And you would agree with me that in this photograph, the red text has been smudged with black paint, right?
Yes.
Let's please pull up, if we can, Defendant's Exhibit 375 again.
Yeah, Amber Heard is much younger than Depp.
The box smudge isn't in this picture that you took, right?
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp must have not liked his own message to himself.
I'm not quite sure what was happening when Ben took his photograph, no.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343, which is already in evidence, and play the portion from 1:57:21 through 1:58:54. It's a recording, Your Honor.
It's not to get you mad. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went
To avoid talking to me, to avoid
escape
working out. That's
to
the
escape
problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight, you escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, 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 here you come. I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
This is what really happened in Australia, isn't it, Miss Heard?
I did knock
They both record each other, by the way.
on a bathroom door on the first night.
Not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors, and 2 bedrooms. Isn't that
Johnny
right?
is not an accurate historian of what happened during
Miss Heard,
that
Miss
period
Heard,
of time. I'll guarantee
Miss Heard, that's not my question. 5 bathroom doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on. That's what actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Miss Heard?
I was there.
So that's
I remember it. I knocked on 1 bathroom door. I came on the first night after he decided to take the bag of MDMA.
Miss
and I
Heard,
went to check
Miss
on
Heard,
him and see
I'm going
if
to
we
move to
could-
strike everything after I knocked on 1 bathroom
She
door.
can't do that, she's answering the question.
But not quite, so I will sustain the objection. Just answer the question, okay, ma'am?
The recording we just listened to, that's exactly what happened in Australia. Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger after you threw a bottle at him. Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia. Isn't that right, Miss Heard?
I didn't assault Johnny in Australia. I didn't assault Johnny ever. I couldn't.
And then after he was injured, he had to hide from you, right?
That is incorrect.
5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms.
That is incorrect.
And you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried
avoiding-
to talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding working it out.
No, he was avoiding agreeing to not fight about the drugs.
You weren't scared of him at all, were you?
I have a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared, one in which I love him very much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't scared of him at all, were you?
This is a man who tried to kill me. Of course it's scary. He's also my husband.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. do not believe these have been admitted into evidence.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have them.
If we can scroll down, please. No.
Ms. Bretterhoff, if you don't have your microphone on, I cannot hear you. You still don't have it on.
Redacted, oh. I need to take a look at the unredacted for a minute, Your Honor. Just bear with me.
All right.
I'm not admitting it into evidence yet. I would like to just
Okay,
talk to the witness about it,
Go
if I
ahead.
could. Thank you, Your Honor.
I know, right, Moki? I mean, shout out to Moki, but I know, right, Anna? I cook with cilantro. Hubby hates it. Oh, hello. Hilarious, Aaron. And Aaron, thanks for asking questions. I'm glad that you're interested in this. And yeah, what a crappy actress. Yeah, I know, right?
Ms. Hurd, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. Do you recognize these text messages between you and Dr. Cowan?
I don't recognize these, no.
Who's Dr. Cowan?
He was my therapist that was recommended to me from Dr. Kipper. He and Dr. Kipper worked together.
He was your therapist at the time, correct?
That's correct.
And you had been seeing him for almost a year in March of 2015?
My guess would be about 6 months at that point.
Your text messages are in gray, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that she show her the unredacted so that she can see the text exchange back and
All right,
forth
if you
if
can-
she wants to talk
Absolutely.
about
All right, we'll
moving
pull
the
that up. Sure.
unredacted later.
Let's go ahead.
Thank you.
Pull it up.
Seeing these unredacted messages, does this refresh your recollection that these are indeed communications between you and Dr. Cowan?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Doctor, your text messages are in gray, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Dr. Cowan's are in blue?
That is correct.
You see the text message at the bottom of the page from March 8th, 2015 at 8:29 p.m.?
Yes, that's correct.
March 8th is the day that you were allegedly sexually assaulted by Mr. Depp in Australia, correct?
That is correct.
So on March 8th, 2015, you were in Australia,
That is correct.
and Mr. Depp's finger had just been cut off, right?
That is correct.
And you write to Dr. Cowan, quote, "I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
You weren't able to change, were you, Ms. Hurd?
I very much wanted to leave the relationship I was in, but I didn't have the power. I didn't feel I had the power to leave. I knew I was in a very toxic relationship with Johnny, and I knew I needed to change that. I knew it was
Anna, isn't that hilarious? Toxic relationship with Johnny. Isn't that hilarious? She's the one that made it toxic. She's a toxin. All right, she's the toxin. She's the poison. She's the venom. That's hilarious, Aaron. Shout out to you and your hubby. It's a very cute stories.
at this point horrible for me, and I
I'm gonna
talk to
move
my
to
therapist
admit-
often about that.
Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted with just Ms. Hurd's messages.
All right.
Your Honor, I object because she has left out the next two lines from Ms. Hurd that clarify even further, and I also think
Ms.
that Dr.
Bredehoff,
Cowan's.
Could you
Your
show
Honor,
them
may
just-
we
yeah,
please
let's-
approach?
let's-
This is. Move to admit defendant's exhibit 371 as redacted.
All right, 371 in evidence as redacted. Over objection. Yes, ma'am.
If we can publish that.
Hilarious, Aaron. Fact Smokey. Yep.
To the jury, thank you. So you write, Ms. Heard, to Dr. Cowan, I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change. Right?
And I said I clearly can't figure this out, meaning the relationship.
You didn't say that. You said,
I did.
Not the relationship. Your text messages, clearly I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
What I was saying to him
No,
is
Ms.
clearly I
Heard,
can't
Ms.
figure
Heard,
this
Ms.
out.
Heard, that's not my question. The text. Just the text.
That's exactly what I was saying.
What you texted. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
That's what I
right.
was saying.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Heard, do you contend?
Your Honor, just for clarification, so those two next lines did come in?
They are in the redacted
Okay,
copy.
good. All right, thank you.
Ms. Heard, do you contend that there's another incident of abuse in March of 2015 after you and Mr. Depp returned from Australia? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And incident took place on March 23rd, 2015?
That's correct.
And this supposedly occurred in the penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building?
That's correct.
You had found text messages between Mr. Depp and another woman, right?
That is correct.
So you confronted him about cheating on you.
That's correct.
And this was about 2 weeks after you had returned from Australia.
That's correct.
So this is shortly after Mr. Depp supposedly sexually assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was 2 weeks after he assaulted me, yes.
And you decided to confront him about cheating on you?
I didn't decide to. I wanted to.
Mr. Depp's finger was freshly injured at this point, right?
He had a cast on it.
The top of his right finger had been cut off 2 weeks prior.
That is correct.
And he had a pin in his finger, true?
I don't recall when the pin was placed.
A skin graft?
I'm not quite sure. He had several different procedures and they were kind of spread out over a period of time, so I don't remember what happened and when
One of those
exactly.
procedures was to treat the MRSA that got on his finger too, right?
At some point, I knew he had an infection.
And his right hand was in a bandage, right?
It was casted.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was able to attack both you and your sister with his hand in that state, right?
That is correct. He had a hard plaster cast on it.
Debbie Lloyd was present in the penthouses when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you claim that Mr. Depp threw a Red Bull can at Miss Lloyd that evening.
Yes, that's correct.
And you put in a sworn statement to that effect in the UK case, right?
That is correct.
But that's not true, is it?
That's what happened.
You know what a deposition is, right, Ms. Heard?
I've had several, yes.
Yeah, so you know it's when someone provides testimony under oath.
That is correct.
You're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case, correct?
That is true.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
Someone provides testimony under oath, right?
That's correct.
And you're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case.
That's correct.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial.
Yes.
So you heard Miss Lloyd testify under oath that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her.
I can't remember if she didn't recall that or if she said it didn't happen. I don't remember. I vaguely sense she didn't recall anything.
So it's your testimony that Miss Lloyd would forget that Mr. Depp, a very famous patient of hers, threw a can of Red Bull that nearly missed her, according to your version of events?
To be fair, I just don't remember if she said when she testified that she didn't recall that incident or if it didn't happen. I don't remember what she testified to, but I have a vague sense that she didn't recall much at all.
She recalled, and she testified in this courtroom, that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her. That was her testimony, wasn't it?
I don't recall what her testimony was with regards to that one incident, no.
You actually filed a complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license right before she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
No, I don't believe I did.
Are you aware that someone filed a complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let me know about that.
It's your testimony under oath, that wasn't you?
That is my testimony. I didn't even know about that until now.
Travis McGivern was also present when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you, correct?
He walked in at some point.
And you heard his testimony that it was actually you who punched Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
It's always been my own testimony that I hit Johnny.
And you who was throwing things at Mr. Depp.
I hit him in defense of my sister. I didn't have anything to throw at him. I never threw anything at him. I hit him when he attacked me and my sister.
You hear that, Anna? She hit him, and she's assertive about it. Understood. Chat, understood. Okay. Good for you, Moki.
Specifically when he moved for her. That's when I hit him.
Since your testimony under oath, you threw nothing at Mr. Depp. Mr. McGivern's lying.
I have thrown things at Johnny,
No,
to be clear, but not
thrown
that
things
occasion.
that evening.
Not that occasion. Not on that occasion.
Since your testimony, Mr. McGivern imagined that you were throwing things at Mr. Depp from the mezzanine level down towards where Mr. Depp and Mr. McGivern were standing.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to say it about his client.
Miss Heard, you and Mr. Depp kept a journal together, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You wrote each other messages in that journal, right?
That is true.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 91. I'm only going to be showing you certain portions of this, so if we could please call this Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A. This is the journal that you and Mr. Depp kept with each other in electronic form, correct?
That is correct.
And if we could scroll through, these are all entries that you made in the journal, correct?
Is it done?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm going to move for the admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A, and I've gone ahead and redacted Mr. Depp's writings as on hearsay grounds.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approve?
Okay.
Exactly, Anna. Everybody except Hawaii 5-0, alright? Everyone except him. Him and a couple other people thought she was innocent. Shout out to you, Bubbles.
Let's start with the first page. It's a picture.
Your Honor,
It's a picture.
they haven't given me the pages yet.
Writing them down.
Sorry, Judy. Let's write him down first.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, all right.
If we could please publish this to the jury.
91A in evidence.
Thank you.
Over objection.
This is a picture that's on the inside cover of the Love notebook, correct?
That's correct.
And this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp?
That's correct.
You're in Australia in this picture, aren't you?
Yes, but that's much later once we returned.
You can see that Mr. Depp's right hand is bandaged, right?
Yes, that's correct. That was after it had recovered significantly. That's not what it looked like during the incident we were just talking about.
She dug her hole. She dug her own hole when she said that, by the way. Like, complete green orange. Complete green orange.
So this is a picture after the event.
Johnny has like an injured finger, and she said that's when it's significantly healed. It's like no empathy.
In Australia in March of 2015, correct?
Yeah, yes, that photograph was taken months later.
We have the jury look at that photograph again, please. Let's now turn to page 3. This is a note you wrote in the journal to Mr. Depp, correct?
That's what it looks like, yes.
This is actually the first note you wrote to him in this journal.
I don't remember what the first note was.
The date on this note is May 22nd, 2015, correct?
That is correct. That was during our honeymoon period.
This is just a little bit over 2 months after the events in Australia in March of 2015, right?
That's correct. We were back in a honeymoon phase. That was the period of sobriety I spoke about yesterday.
When after Mr. Depp had allegedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was after the stairs and it was after the Australia incident, yes. And he got clean and sober and we went back to Australia.
It's also 2 months after you punched Mr. Depp because you allegedly thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs, right?
I hit him when he swung at my sister. And this is written months later, yes.
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney, and I had heard a vague rumor about that. And so it's what I thought of.
In this first message to Mr. Depp in your journal, you write, quote, "True love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both, falling madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen in you the true bones of friendship and respect. But of course, I still, perhaps more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savor the taste. Fret not. XX Slim."
Yes, it's a love note.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
And you're Slim, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, I'm now going to ask you to take a look at the very last entry you wrote in this journal, which seems to be from April 8th. That would be April 8th, 2016, correct?
I'm not quite sure. I don't see the year written on there, and I don't recognize it yet.
It would be a couple weeks. April 8th would be a couple weeks before your birthday, though, right?
That's correct.
Just to confirm, this is a note you wrote to Mr. Depp, right?
That's what it looks like.
Scared.
Yes.
And on the second page of this note, you wrote the following. Quote, "I'm sorry I can get crazy. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was. I felt abandoned about the Lily Rose thing, felt absolutely bewildered about your not coming home on my last night here, and was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last night of what was otherwise a gorgeous trip with you. I'm so sorry for my part. None of this is meant to be an excuse for hurting you, because the truth is, nothing is. There is never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the whole world who deserves it. Last person I ever meant to hurt. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim." Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Thank you. Ms. Hurd, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 423, which is already in evidence. This is a picture of you with what appears to be straight red marks on your arms, correct?
Those are scars from the broken glass.
And they're straight and red, right?
I disagree with how you characterize that, but they are red, yes.
And they're on your left arm?
Yes, that's correct.
Miss Heard, you have a history of cutting yourself, don't you?
I do not.
You cut your arm once as a teenager, isn't that right?
No, I said I wanted to. When I was put on birth control pills when I was a teenager, I felt crazy, and I said I felt suicidal.
So it's your testimony under oath that you didn't report to Dr. Hughes, your retained psychologist, that you had cut yourself as a teenager once?
I said I had told my mom that I wanted to when I was a teenager.
Ms. Heard, we heard some testimony from you yesterday about
I agree, Anna.
a trip you and Mr. Depp took on a train in Southeast Asia. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
That was when you and Mr. Depp went on your honeymoon trip, correct?
That's correct.
And that was in July of 2015?
Yes, that sounds right.
Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence. You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Heard, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This is the picture. This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree. I've seen this picture.
Okay, Ms. Heard,
I've seen
I
this
got the
picture
answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You disagree?
he's not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture. That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is Photoshop.
Ms. Heard, I have your answer. Thank you. This is the only photograph from your honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A at page 46, going back to the Love Journal. This is a note from you to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
This is a note you wrote on July 22nd, 2015.
That is correct.
And it starts off with the words, "My husband, happy honeymoon," right?
That's correct.
Ms. Heard, please take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A at page 67. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp in your journal, right?
That is correct.
And this one is dated August 1st, 2015.
That's correct.
And you write, "That's enough. You've held this book hostage long enough. Although I can't wait to read my note, I also couldn't wait to tell you how much I adore you. What a beautiful, extraordinary, magical, memorable, wonderful, stunning, surprisingly evolving, and impulsive adventure. I couldn't have imagined a more gorgeous honeymoon. I love you more and more every passing day. XX Slim." Did I read that right?
That is correct.
Let's take a look at the journal entry starting on page 68. This is another entry from you writing to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And this one's dated August 2nd.
That is correct, yes.
And this one is a longer one, so let's go to where it ends on page 70 of the journal. And you write, quote, "I hope the things said in anger and pain were just that, and that you miss and love me too. And that is what matters most to you. You may say you stand by everything you said and did, and that there is nothing you can learn from this, but I don't feel that way. And it's important for me that you know that. I love you and I'm sorry. I miss my warm, loving husband. XX Slim."
That is correct.
And sad, the word sad is crossed out.
That is true.
Next, we have a journal entry from you on page 89. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp.
That is correct. The whole book is love notes.
So this is dated August 15th, correct?
That is correct.
And here you write, quote, "My love, why do we fight? Ever? Why? I love you more than anything else. Are we that uncomfortable with being vulnerable? Were we scared? Or is it something else? I don't know. But I am sure of one thing, and if it's that I can't imagine my life without you. I love you. I will do better. I am sorry. X Slim." Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Your testimony, this was a love journal?
That is correct. It was primarily love notes and
Apology notes from you to Mr. Depp?
The book was more of a love note book, and part of that communication, obviously, since we fought so much, it was important for me to, try to nurture as much peace as we possibly could. And when things were good, they were really good.
And it was also an opportunity for you to apologize to Mr. Depp for your behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important in every relationship to apologize when you're trying to move past fights.
Let's look at an entry from August 17, 2015, starting on page 90. Here you write, quote, "I'm sorry I shook the wheels so hard. I'm sorry we've tested the shocks and brakes to this point. God damn, I love you, Johnny. I love you. I am tied to you forever, you know that? So I'm tasked with making this work for that reason and many others, of which there are many. Let me try to fix this. Let me try to patch this. Let me try to make your heart better. You deserve it. Hell, maybe even I do. I need you. We need each other. You're my cornerstone, my heart, my all. You are my life. I hate it when we fight. I hate having you hurt. I hate that you're hurting. I love you more than anything. Let me prove it. I need you. I love you. Slim." Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, another example of me trying to fix it. I was always trying to fix it.
Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?
I tried everything. I tried apologizing, I tried reading, I tried therapists, I tried everything to fix
But
it.
yet you couldn't change like you told Dr. Cowan, right?
I couldn't change my relationship.
Let's talk about December 15th, 2015 again. Erin Filati, your personal nurse, saw you 2 days after the incident on December 15th, 2015. Isn't that right?
She did not see me as in a medical visit. She just dropped off meds in the late at night.
She saw you personally, though,
She
right?
physically saw me, but did not see me in a medical sense, the way a doctor might see a patient. She did not see me in that way.
She was your personal nurse, right?
She was a nurse assigned to me. I didn't hire her. Johnny did.
She was assigned to you, and so when she would see you, it would be physically in person in your home and traveling, correct?
She would sometimes see me as like a medical professional would, and then other times she would just drop off meds and physically see me, like as in with her eyes.
You testified that during the incident on December 15th, 2015, Mr. Depp broke the bed, correct?
That is correct.
And more specifically, you described that he broke the bed frame with his boot while trying to get purchase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 509, which is already in evidence. If we could please have that published to the jury. Thank you. Mister, this is a picture that you indicated depicts the broken bed, right?
That's exactly it.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp caused this damage to the bed with his boot, right?
He did.
Is that a pocket knife on the bed there?
I cannot tell what's on the bed.
Did you use that to damage the bed?
I did not damage the bed. Johnny's boot did when he was punching me. I could feel him slipping.
Mister, you also testified that there was blood all over the pillows on the bed, correct?
On the pillow top, yes, that's correct.
But you didn't take a picture of that, though, did you?
I did not take a picture of this.
About a week after the December 15th, 2015 incident, you went with Mr. Depp and his children to the island of the Bahamas. Is that correct? To celebrate Christmas?
The incident was on the 15th, and we went on the 23rd, I believe.
While you were there, you did a photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
A few days later, I think the photo shoot was about 2 weeks after this assault.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 99. This is a photograph of you on Mr. Depp's island shortly after December 15th, 2015, correct?
No, this was taken weeks later.
On the island, on that trip?
It was taken on the island.
On that trip?
Yes,
Weeks later?
weeks later.
December 15th, you traveled to the island December 23rd? That's your
It's
testimony?
my recollection that this picture was taken on New Year's Eve or the first day of the year. I think New Year's Eve.
And this is the photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection?
All right, 99, you can publish.
Can we please have a zoom in to Ms. Hurd's face? Thank you, Tom. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit
Agreed, Moki.
100. I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 100 in evidence, you can publish.
Yeah, and it's in the Caribbean.
Ms. Hurd, this is another picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yes, this is the same photo shoot that you asked me about earlier, and this is several weeks later.
Right. If we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 101. And I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
Can we just have the foundation first, please?
This is a picture from the photo shoot, Ms. Hurd, that was taken on the island.
This is the same photo shoot, yes.
Then no objection, all right?
All right, 101 in evidence, you can publish.
If we could please zoom in, excuse me, Tom, on Ms. Hurd's face.
Okay, Moki. See you in court. Thank you for being here and hanging out with us. Have a very good night. Take care. I enjoyed watching this with you.
It's your testimony, Ms. Hurd, that you were wearing makeup for this photo shoot?
That is correct. It's a photo shoot.
If we could please pull up Exhibit 102. Ms. Hurd, is this another picture from the photo shoot?
I can't exactly tell from the background. It looks like the same thing, but I can't really tell without it being zoomed out.
This is a picture of you, though, right?
It is a picture of me, yes.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
All right, any objection?
I'm not going to object because she identified herself. I just, if she could identify when it was taken, that would help. But I'm not going to object. I'm not
No,
gonna object.
no objection.
No objection.
Okay, there we
This
go.
is box.
102 in evidence, you can publish.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 103.
03.
Ms. Hurd, this is yet another picture of you from that Greg Williams photo shoot, correct?
That is correct. This is from the same shoot.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 103 in evidence, publish.
And again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. And finally, if we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 104. And Ms. Hurd, this is a picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Again, this is the same photo shoot weeks later.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, 104 in evidence, thank you.
Again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom. You testified that you and Mr. Depp got into a fight while on the island in December of 2015, correct?
That's correct.
And this all started because you perceived Mr. Depp as nodding off during the trip, right?
I thought he was passing out again in a similar fashion to what he had done the previous year.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son, Jack, was there when this happened, right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
Right. You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified that after this, you needed to get...
Aaron, the thing about her is that her personality undoes anything attractive about her. And I do think she overhypes herself because her attractiveness gets taken away by her arrogance and the bad stuff about her. Now, there's other pictures of her, Aaron. Those are just a few of them. There's other ones of her. It's up to the person to what their opinions are.
Elon Musk liked her.
Yeah, Elon Musk liked her. Yeah.
He dated.
It's just there isn't. This is just like a couple of pictures of her. There is other ones that are, out there too.
get away
It's also in black and white.
from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's correct.
And you admit you threw something at him, right?
I did throw something at him to get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Hurd?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager on the island.
Yes, that's correct.
You heard her testify that she witnessed an argument between you and Mr. Depp on the island in December of 2015, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was the gist of it. She kind of misrepresented it to seem like that, yes.
No, she misrepresented it. How convenient.
That's correct.
Okay, and then you kept apologizing to Mr. Depp, right? That's what
No, that's
Ms.
not
Roberts
correct.
said? Begging him to come back to the house with you.
That's not correct.
Clawing at him. She used those words.
That's not correct. When she interrupted us, Johnny had me by the hair.
Yelling at him.
We were screaming, both of us, but
They were screaming, Anna. They were screaming.
I don't know what she would have heard.
And that she observed an injury on Mr. Depp's nose from something that you threw at him, right?
I don't know what she observed.
You also heard Ms. Roberts testify that she included all this information in a sworn statement in the UK in May of 2020. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
You put in a witness statement in response to Ms. Roberts' statement in June of 2020. Isn't that correct? In the UK?
I did several, I think 7 witness statements, and each one contained different information as per recent filings. That's what counsel has you do in that.
And in response to
case.
previous filings, correct? Including testimony from people that contradict your story?
Sort of. So what you have to do is your counsel asks you to respond to things, and you put it in a declaration of sorts, and that happens back and forth over the course of preparing to go to trial in that country. And that's what I did.
So that was your 5th witness statement submitted in the UK.
I don't recall which one I was asked to comment on Tara Roberts' testimony.
I'll remind you. If we could have Ms. Hurd's 5th witness statement from the UK. May I approach her?
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. Thank you.
directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 6 of your fifth witness statement. It's here that you describe the December 2015 incident, correct, on the island?
I haven't read through the statement. I just don't know if I had commented on it before. In a previous witness statement, as I said, there were several.
But starting on page 6, Ms. Heard, you describe the incident that took place on the island, correct?
That's correct, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if I'd describe it in full in this statement.
Okay. I'm going to show you your confidential schedule to the fifth witness statement that accompanied the fifth witness statement in the UK. Ms. Reinhoff? May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Statement, paragraph 1 on page 21. You describe Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in the Bahamas of December 2015, right?
That is correct.
And that's the first time you ever claimed that Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you in the Bahamas.
That is incorrect.
You only submitted the confidential schedule in the UK claiming Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you after Miss Roberts had said that she saw you on the island chasing, clawing at Mr. Depp. Isn't that correct?
That is incorrect.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 394. So, Your Honor, this is another recording I can represent to the court. This only contains Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's voices. I'm going to move to admit the entire recording. I'm only going to play from 1:17:44 through 1:20:02.
All right, any objection?
Which plaintiff exhibit you're on?
394.
394.
I think I have no objection.
All right, I'll go with that. All right, 394 in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hello, Lauren. Exactly.
And since I have been moving for the same,
What things have you been doing?
working on these things, not doing certain things, trying to change that's last several times.
Hence, screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
I would appreciate. Yeah, you're right. You're right, John.
That fucked him up, you know.
I'm sorry I fucked your son up.
No, it weirded him out. He'd never.
I'm so sorry I fucked your kids up.
He didn't fuck my kids up, but it was pretty fucking weird for him, you know.
Because I jumped up and screamed at everyone. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm surprised he's here. So you're going for the counselor. I'm sure that's terrifying.
I don't need your
No, but the court can't.
your clever
It's not against me again.
comebacks.
It's so-
No, you think you're controlling yourself. You think you're controlling yourself.
Characters become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me see you even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after having the Ambien and think I'm gonna just fucking forgive and move on. Trust me, it is gross how you're using the kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. You're right. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if she'd been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is, because that would be a special kind of fucking person, no doubt.
All right, let's see how old right here. Let's see, Depson. Now, his Depp's son is Jack. He's 23 years old. Born 2002. A little bit more, then we'll be ending it. Okay.
It's you and Mr. Depp in that recording, right?
That's correct.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah. And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a lot of concerns.
You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
That was not the point of that conversation. If I had gotten into the details of what happened to me with him, it would have been another fight.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? In that
He
recording.
would often use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
I was pointing out the ridiculous nature of him expecting me not to react to something that basic.
Your Honor, would this be a good time for a break?
All right, we can do that. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our morning recess for 15 minutes. Do not.
All right, that is it in her her cross-examination. That is it. All right, switching over to this other window here. All right, I'm going to put this over in this other area right here. All right, so that was it for her. Okay, that was it for her cross-examination. That was some wild stuff. That was a bunch of Temu Sheen nonsense right there. She completely shows that she's the abusive one. She shows that she's the one manipulating and lying and being a bad actress. I think that it was very clear that she was guilty and she slandered his good name. She's a pretty little liar. She'd fit in that. Now, this was hysterical, like in the chat at that time. Everywhere we would go, we would have a lot of debates and talks, and everyone mostly agreed that, you know, Heard was a clown, and his attorney did excellent. She did an excellent job at putting the nail in her coffin, so to speak. And yeah, so that was just some of her cross-examination, and throughout the different streams we'll do more reviews on more reactions to that. You know, so that was the one. That video was over with. We completed it. Yeah, so it was quite wild. Some wild stuff. Now, at this point in time, I'm going to be ending the stream. Y'all had excellent commentary on this historic trial that occurred that we will be reviewing over time to react to it again. And I want to thank you all for coming, and y'all have a good evening, good night. And Anna says she needs 20 years old biker, not a man in his 60s. Yeah, there you go. That she needs a 20-year-old biker, not a man in his 60s. Yeah, he shouldn't have went with her in the first place. She should have went with one of her own group, and he shouldn't have put himself through all that trouble. Yeah. You're welcome, Anna. And we're going to continue over time during the different streams. We'll react to more scenes from that trial. It's how I found the trial chat. I'm glad that you thought it was fun, Anna. Okay. Thank you for the insight that you shared on the matter. And thank you all for coming, and peace.